Oh my gosh, what is happening right now? Hello, everyone. This is already chaotic because there's an ad on this bracket website that's just advertising Best Buy
No way, yeah.
right now.
They better cut a check, I guess.
Seriously, I'm not giving you this promotion for free, but nonetheless, we just hopped in here. Welcome live, myself and Tommy. I also forgot to put Tommy back there, so Tommy probably just popped up and was like, "What the heck's going on?"
You always got to be ready, yeah.
Seriously. But yes, it's been a chaotic little half hour here before doing this because this bracket website has not been my friend. I hope it's fine today. It's going to work out. But like Haley said, who's joining us in the chat here, it's a boys' night. How fun is this? So Tommy's joining me. Heidi is at work. Haley's not feeling well. So we thought the show must go on.
Absolutely.
And me and Tommy will do this thing together, and it's going to be so much fun. Sorry that it was a few minutes late, everyone, but it's the technical issues of me trying to get this like bracket website to work. But like I said, hopefully it's good. But for those who don't know kind of what today was about, because I got some questions about like what's the live about, it's going to be just a random bracket of random Disney things. It can be characters, attractions, just anything within like the Disney like universe, which is so fun and exciting. And I think it's just going to be random and chaotic. And it's just like an ultimate winner of, I guess, random Disney things.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun comparing apples and oranges, especially like within the Disney sphere, because I feel like opinions can change so much from like movies to stuff in the parks and stuff like that. So I'm really excited, for all the sort of wackiness to come.
Yeah, like, and I think it's also interesting because when you rank like movies, like you're comparing two movies and it's like, oh, this movie's better because of this, but this is like just all your perception, I guess, of your favorite things or kind of what it's going up against, which is exciting. I think it'll be fun, but we'll welcome people coming in. I know that they'll probably trickle in slowly because we were late. So people are like, maybe it's not happening, but hopefully some people will come in here and join us. But Happy Travel Vlogs is here. Thanks for being here and for joining us. If you're just hopping in, and you're new to us, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to both of our channels. I'm going to stick Haley and Tommy's stuff in the comments there before we do the bracket. But yes, thanks for joining us. Happy Travel Vlogs. Llama Floof is here. 40 is a huge milestone. Yeah, this is our 40th live stream, which seems like a lot. And then I'm like, is it like really that many? But for us, like it's a lot. I feel like that's
it's definitely a lot. It's awesome. Congratulations on 40.
Thank you. And Haley and Tommy were the first people on our first ever one. So exciting. We're at 40. We'll continue these, of course, in the new year, and I'm going to touch on those. This was like a random live stream because we had said last time that our last one was our last live stream of the year. And then I was like, Heidi's at work. What else am I going to do? So let me hang out with everyone here on YouTube and rank some stuff,
Yeah, they're so fun. So, I mean, if you have an opening, might as well slide one in there.
Exactly. So like I said before, if you're just hopping in, it's going to be random Disney stuff and we're just going to rank them. They're all in a bracket. I think there's 60 things, which seems like a lot, but like I wanted to put like random like mix of things, and some of them will fly through kind of quickly in like the first round and stuff, but I'm excited to see what happens. So if we're all ready, I know that there like people are going to slowly come in, but we'll get started so that we're not here for 4 hours.
Yeah, they can hop in midway through. We got 60 to get through, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of conversation along the way.
For sure. So I'm just going to pull up my screen here. And of course, everyone play along in the chat and stay tuned to the end of the live stream because I have some stuff to share and to talk about for the new year, which is exciting. But we'll get this thing going. Entire screen. Share. Our first matchup, and I'll try to describe them in case the pictures aren't clear, is actually two, I guess, like entertainment things. One's an attraction and one is entertainment, but Country Bear Jamboree versus Happily Ever After. Kind of random. Austin, welcome. Thanks for being here and for joining us. But two kind of random things. I'm not sure, Tommy, how you feel about either of these things. But
I don't feel super strongly either way, but I think I like acknowledge that they both have a ton of fans and people like them a lot. I think I'm probably in the minority and not like being a diehard one way or the other. But I think they're both good. I haven't seen the new Happily Ever After, I don't think. So I'm a little bit inexperienced in that. But I have vague memories of the before time, so I think I can try and piece it together.
Yeah, like these are two things, of course, like you said, they both have a super big fan base. People love both of these, especially Happily Ever After. It was like a travesty when it went away, and was replaced by Enchantment, and now it's back, and it is the current show La Maflouf right now at the Magic Kingdom right now. Like it was just updated like a little bit with some like projections down Main Street and stuff. I think that the rest of the show is the same. I haven't seen the projections either, because we have watched them like behind with like the princesses in the back, which is fun. And then Country Bears people love, but that's also getting updated, I guess, next year or maybe the year after. But it was announced like that Destination D23 thing that they're gonna do a new show where they like sing Disney classics. So that's fun. I don't know which way to go with this one, to be honest. I feel like that they're both so different. But I'm going to throw Country Bears a vote.
Yeah, I think I'm going with you, and I'm going to go Country Bears. It's so unique, especially now, I feel like, at Magic Kingdom, that I think it just slightly edges it out for me.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, again, Happily Ever After, I know people love, and people, like, I'm not a Happily Ever After hater by any means. I loved Enchantment before, but I just think that Country Bear is like so special and so like old school Disney that I got to throw that one a vote. So 2 votes for us for Country Bears. Haley's going with Happily Ever After. Happy Travel Vlogs as well, going Happily Ever After all the way. Austin, Happily Ever After always. And Lama Floof says, my gut says Happily Ever After. A lot of love for Happily Ever After. And that's going to move on. Our votes are
doesn't even matter. Yeah, the comments swept it. So
are no good in this one. That's okay. Happily Ever After. Moving on. Nice. Page unresponsive. Cool. I'm like, okay, we're gonna wait 1 second. This is just great.
We're just getting it all out of the way early.
I know, and I'm like, it's just so silly that it's like it was giving me technical issues, and now it's again giving me more technical issues, and I like. It's asking me to leave the page, but if I leave the page, then it's who knows what could happen. So yeah, Tommy, how are you? Let's do that.
Doing good, yeah, doing good. As you mentioned, Haley's not feeling well, which has been a bummer, but she's now on winter break, which will be exciting. When I'm working from home, she'll be around, which will be nice.
Yeah.
For that, the holidays are coming up, which will be a lot of fun. This is our first sort of cold Christmas in a while, which is nice, being able to bundle up.
For sure. No, I know. It's weird because the holidays, I feel like for me, have snuck up on me because when you're in school, it's just so busy.
Yeah.
And it's like you forget that it's actually even like the holiday season,
And I feel like school spits you out and it's just like, all right, it's already the holidays and you have no lead up. I know we usually do like the Christmas party, the last 2 years at least, we've done like the Christmas party, or we go in early November to Disney World where it's sort of decorated. So we kind of get like a preview to the holidays, where this year it was, I don't know, last weekend, and we didn't really have much. We didn't have like a tree or a lot of Christmas stuff. So we had to sort of emergency Christmas shop, get our tree, sort of get all that stuff figured to start getting in the spirit. But we got there slowly but surely, watching Home Alone, starting to watch the classics, really getting in the spirit.
Yeah, well, like, and you guys also were telling us that you watched Gremlins, which was a topic last week for us.
Yeah.
On our Christmas ranking, which is fun to watch that.
That's something that's been on like our radar, I feel like, for a long time. We've just never watched it, and yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's super 80s. I feel like it's kind of like exactly what I expected, but it's a good time. Definitely not like for everyone, but it's kind of like a fun, offbeat Christmas movie. Like it's sort of doing its own thing. But yeah, it was a good time. It was it's definitely like wacky, but I get the appeal for sure.
There we go. I'm gonna have to check it out. But I got our bracket back up and running, which is good. So I'm gonna add that in here. Our next round or like matchup, I guess, is Photopass, which is taking pictures around the park and being able to do that, versus Toy Story Land. Again, when I said random,
I like it. No, I love the juxtaposition there. Yeah.
Yeah. So This one's kind of interesting. I feel like Photopass is one of those where you either use it lots or you don't. And for us, I love using it so much. Like we take so many pictures with it. We always pay for like the memory maker thing, and it's always great. But I do love Toy Story Land. But I don't know which way that like you kind of think, or what do you think about both of these? Do you have like one that stands out?
I think Toy Story Land is really, really, really strong, but we got so much use out of Photopass, and like an awesome a Photopass cast member like captured the moment when I proposed to Haley, and so like I've got emotional buy-in, and we've also gotten a ton of use out of it. So it's Photopass easy for me. I definitely wasn't expecting to see Photopass tonight, so I think Photopass is going to be kind of hard to beat going down the line as well.
I would agree. I was going to say there's a lot of things on this bracket that are random. I honestly forget some of them because I have done this over the last couple of days, picking random things. But yeah, like I think that Photopass is for sure a strong contender. Toy Story Land is great, of course. It's the whole encompassing of the land. So you got all the attractions and the food and the whole ambiance, but it is pretty tough to beat like people with cameras around the parks that'll take your picture.
Yeah, just having like all those pictures from all the different trips and being able to go back and be like, oh, this is when we did this. This is when we, went with Brandon and Heidi, like stuff like that. It's really, really good. It's tough to beat.
Yeah, I think I got to throw Photopass a vote for sure because it's so good. It's so great. So we'll see. I think Haley has a vote here and says, I love Photopass. I feel like we have so many memories and fun magic shots that we wouldn't have otherwise. Yes. Yeah, like I think that it's also like they've added more spots where you can do pictures. Like, and I think I hope that they don't go down the route of like, I think it's when you meet Mickey maybe at Magic Kingdom where it's like a box. Yeah. I don't like that. I like when it's a person there, and I know it's kind of hard maybe with like staffing or certain things, but like part of the like appeal for me is like the person there taking pictures and making it more fun. So hopefully they don't go down that route.
No, definitely. Like having a cast member there sort of like making it their own, whether it be the like interactions or them like sort of taking some minor liberties and like how they're taking the picture, I feel like is huge. And you end up with some awesome shots instead of, just like you said, just like a box picture that looks the same. It's the same picture taken 500 times a day or whatever.
Yeah, like, and it's just like, it's always hilarious to me when they like do the box and they're like, look at the box, like look over here, and you're like, you know what, like I just want our pictures on our phone then, because the box ones don't ever turn out for me. You're like looking one way, looking the other. So
and it's like mid thigh level, so it doesn't feel like a natural pose always. It's just, I don't know, not the best.
No. Happy Travel Vlogs as well is going to go Photopass. Haley hates the box. We got Santa Mickey pics with the box, and they were awful. Austin says, Toy Story Land, love the Photopass, but I could always take our own photos. Can't create our own land. LOL.
That's a good point.
Good point. And Llama Floof says Photopass taking pictures is making memories. So Photopass is going to move on in this round. Next up, we have Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot going up against the Emperor's New Groove. Very interesting. Again, Llama Floof, you'll be happy that Emperor's New Groove is in here for sure. I think this one's hard. Of course, it's a whole festival with food and things versus a movie, but maybe people love Emperor's New Groove. Which way, Tommy, are you thinking here?
I think Flower and Garden has sort of stepped its game up a lot in the recent years, at least like in my opinion. But I think I'm still a food and wine loyalist when it comes to the Epcot festivals. And I think Emperor's New Groove is one of those sort of lost gems from like that early to mid 2000s era where it's really, really, really great, but we kind of all just collectively memory hold it and don't talk about it nearly as much as we should. So I'm gonna go Emperor's New Groove.
Nice, I like it. That's good. Yeah, for like the like Epcot like festivals and stuff, we haven't been to all of them. I think that like Festival of the Arts maybe is the only one that we haven't done, and that's the one that I would want to do the most. I don't know if that one's the best one in most people's opinion, but I just think that I would love like to see the art and stuff around. But I got to, for the first time ever, do food and wine this year, and I loved it. There was so many good things, so much awesome food. I also love like the holiday festival. That one's like super fun with all the different like holidays around the world. So I'm also going to do Emperor's New Groove because I do like that movie. I rewatched it maybe like a few months ago. yeah, like, and it's just one of those that I think that people like don't talk about enough. But I think does have like a big following for people who do love that. There's like a small group of like of people who like super love it, and stuff comes out about it and people do like it. So I'm also going to do Emperor's New Groove, and Llama Floof, of course, says Llama Movie. Haley says Emperor's New Groove. I think Flower and Garden isn't one of my faves, and Llama Floof says probably one of the worst. Like of the festivals, and Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for the Epcot festival. So Emperor's New Groove is going to move on, which is fun and exciting. A movie beating out a whole Epcot festival.
Yeah, seriously.
I like it. Never would have thought that would have happened, but nonetheless, it did. Next up, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance versus the song A Whole New World from Aladdin. Again, so random. I'm not gonna say it anymore because it's to be expected. But if people are coming in and they're like, "What is this?" This is just randomness.
No, so, I really like how random it is. I love that.
Yeah, this is hard because it's a song versus a ride. I will say, like A Whole New World, I like tried to pick a song. Like I looked up the most like iconic or popular Disney songs, and this was in the top 3. And I thought like I'll throw it in there to see how much love it gets. And then of course, Rise of the Resistance is like a super good attraction, newer. People love it so much. There's lots that goes into it. So which way do you want to go with this one, Tommy?
Yeah, I think this one's tough, and I like A Whole New World. But if I'm being honest with myself, it's maybe like my third favorite favorite song from that movie alone. I think I like Prince Ali and Friend Like Me both more than that song. Yeah. And I think that Rise is, probably a top 3 attraction at all of Walt Disney World. So I think I'm leaning that way, and just sort of the multiple steps where you get on that initial ship and it's, you get boarded and then you get unloaded and you get in like another sort of mini queue, but all the cast members are in character, and then you load up, and the whole experience, I definitely feel like it's sort of like the shine is like wore off a little bit and people don't talk about it as much as they should. I think we talked about that the last time we were there in May. Yeah. But every time I ride it, I'm like, wow, that was so much fun. That was just as fun as, the first time I rode it. So I think I'm going Rise. I think Rise is really, really strong, and, it might not be for everyone, but I think it's definitely for me in this round.
Yeah. I'm also going to go with you on that. Like, and I think what's cool about Rise to me is like I wasn't the biggest ever Star Wars fan like before. I think that I like it way more than I did now before, but I just think that this kind of has set a blueprint for what they could do with attractions, which I think is really cool. Like you could do this easily with like a Marvel attraction or something that's also like immersive, where it's a whole story of like, I don't know like exactly what the details could be, but like if this is their top tier of like what like attractions can be, I think it's like super great, like and super awesome. And I think this has set, if you're like a Star Wars fan, I remember like when I was working at Disney, like all the people that would talk about this ride who love Star Wars, like working in Tatooine traders, people just like love this ride. And like if it's their first time, it's like mind blowing to Star Wars people that this even like exists. So like I have to give it points for that, because I just think that it's so iconic and so cool to so many people. And I do love it a lot. Like every time that I write it now too, I'm like, wow, that actually is a lot that goes into it that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, just like the way they're able to do storytelling with an attraction, I feel like is really like unique. Like there's some other really great rides, but not all of them are like telling a story, where this almost feels like you're thrown into like an episode of a Star Wars TV show or something like that.
Seriously. Yeah. And that's no hate to Whole New World, but like you said, for me as well, like that's my third favorite song from that movie too. And it's not my favorite of like a Disney like love song. Yeah. So okay. I'm not going to vote for that one, but A Whole New World is Happy Travel Vlogs vote, and so does Llama Floof. Give me a good bop any day. Austin's voting for Rise. Haley says the first time I wrote it, it blew my mind, so I'm going to have to go there. And Llama Floof says that Toy Story Mania greater than Rise. There you go.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, Toy Story Mania is a great one, but Rise is moving on in this round. Next up, Captain America Civil War versus the 3 Disney Plus only Pixar movies, Luca, Turning Red, and Soul. Again, 1 movie versus 3. And these are interesting too, because these 3 movies are going to get theatrical releases for limited time in the new year.
Nice. I actually didn't know that. That's great. I think that's one of sort of the biggest missteps that Disney has taken in the last few years, and I kind of understand why they did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are probably three of the better movies they've put out, and just to go straight to Disney Plus feels like a little bit of a disservice. So that's exciting.
Yeah. So again, these are both, well, I guess like 4 movies here, but 3 of them on one side versus a big movie in Civil War. Again, also I want to say that I just like hit random to throw all these in here. So this was not like it's all random. But of those 3 movies, which one do you think is your favorite? Those 3 Pixar ones?
I didn't love Soul or Luca on my first watch. They're both due for a rewatch for me, so hopefully that I was just in a bad mood that day or something like that. I really like Turning Red quite a bit, so I think Turning Red is probably for me. It feels the most sort of unique. Like they're doing, I think it's what Domi Shi is the name of the director. I feel like she's doing a lot, and she did Bow as well, which is another thing that I feel like is so unique and like such a, I don't know, like a point of difference.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, this one's hard. I think that like Civil War is not my favorite Marvel movie, but like I rewatched this again like at some point this year, and there's just like so many good things about like the airport scene and all the stuff in this movie, and just like the Tony and Steve stuff where like they were friends, but it's like this whole battle kind of thing within themselves, I think is really cool. But I agree, like on those, like I love Luca because Heidi loved it, and I remember like our like experience watching it was great. Turning Red's cool because it's all like obviously takes place in Canada, which is
true.
Which is so random but so cool. And then Soul, like we watched it, but I honestly couldn't tell you like anything about Soul. It's one of those that's like kind of like forgettable to me. So I think these are all like due for like a rewatch for me. I think that we'll probably go watch Luca in theaters because Heidi loves it so much, just to see what that experience is like in a theater, even if the tickets are like whatever. But I'm gonna vote for Civil War on this one because of the 4 movies, I probably like that one the best. It's close with Luca. I think of those 3, Luca's my favorite, but I just like didn't love Soul. So for me, I gotta go Civil War.
Yeah, I'm going Civil War as well. I fell off the MCU a little bit in that sort of early stage. I like watched Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, and then kind of just fell off. But I remember the hype for Civil War was so big. I was like, all right, I'll get back into these. And yeah, I saw it in theaters and was like immediately hooked. Like Spider-Man shows up, and I was like, all right, yeah, like these are cool. And then I was sort of along for the ride from there. Yeah. So while I definitely agree it's not like top tier MCU probably, it does hold a little bit of a sort of a special place to me because it was like how I got back into it.
Yeah, for sure. Lama Floof says Luca is better, and Luca beats Civil War alone. There you go. Wow. He says, I couldn't tell you anything about the Captain America movie, and I like May May, so the Pixar. Very funny. Happy Travel Vlog says, Red was awful, Soul was okay, and didn't see Luca. Austin says that the Red slander is unfortunate, but obviously Civil War. Yeah, like I think, again, like Disney's kind of in a tough spot where like a lot of the newer movies people either don't see or they wait for a long time to watch. And I don't know how they fix that. I think that Disney Plus has kind of changed the way that we watch things, and like movies that come to theaters are so, it's like do I want to watch it there and pay for that, or do I want to wait till it comes out on Disney Plus? And I think like we're seeing that with like Wish and different things, but yeah, like I think it's hard when like these good movies go straight to like Disney Plus, and not everybody's going to watch them because they're not like mass out there in theaters. So I think it'll be cool that they go to theaters and see how they do, and if people go check them out for the first time, or if they love them, they go and watch them because they love them. But I guess in this one, the vote is Civil War, I guess, because or maybe we're close. Llama Floof, I guess, is voting for Pixar because Luca beats
Luca, yeah.
Haley's the same, voting for Pixar. Me, you, and Austin are voting for Civil War. And Happy Travel Vlogs, maybe with neither.
Abstains, yeah, doesn't like the Pixar, so abstains.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess on this one, I'll wait a second to see if Happy Travel Vlogs throws in a vote there, and then if not, it'll be Civil War 3-2.
Sneaking past, yeah.
Sneaking past. Again, this bracket will have like Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, so many like parks, all random stuff, which is exciting. So Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Soul, which is the Pixar one. So the Pixar one and Civil War now are tied. And there's been no one else in the chat participating. Maybe there's some silent viewers that want to break a tie between Civil War and the 3 Disney Plus shelved Pixar movies.
I was gonna say, yeah, how do we break a tie?
Yeah, I guess it's I don't know. If there's anybody there who's in the room with somebody that wants to throw a vote, Caitlin Buck says Civil War is funny. But Caitlin, I thought so this would happen. Caitlin's voting for Pixar because Caitlin loves May and Turning Red, which is so great. So Pixar, the 3 shelved Pixar Disney Plus movies, moving on. That maybe is an upset to me. And Happy Travel Vlogs, Sun says Luca. So there we go.
Lead votes for Pixar, yeah.
There we go. Pixar moving on. Next up, we have Fantasyland versus Star Wars droids. And it's not just those droids. It's just like in general, all the droids. Which I don't know too much about all of them. But I love the droids. I think that they're great.
Yeah. 9-year-old me would never let it go if I didn't vote for the Star Wars droids. So I have to go Star Wars droids. There's just such a good variety, I feel like.
Seriously. And like they're just so fun and different. And again, I've come to like appreciate Star Wars because people love, and it's like it's kind of like Disney to me, where like people love like princesses and like sidekicks and villains, and it's like it's the same in every franchise, obviously. But Star Wars is also that, where people love like the droids and like the villains and the Jedi, like all those different things, which is cool. So like of course in like Fantasyland, I wouldn't say are the most amazing attractions, but I guess like the vibe is great back there, which is fun. But I will also vote for the Star Wars droids. I think that they're cool and they're fun, and I love like every time riding Star Tours that it's a C-3PO up there with me, which is
that's always nice. Yeah,
so great. Llama Floof says the mouse droid is the best Star Wars creation. Is that the one on the? No, that's not the one on the right. That's like a bad droid, right? In this picture.
Yeah, the one in that picture is like a battle droid from the prequels. The mouse droid is just like it's like a little box that just rolls around the Death Star mostly, but it's a very good droid. It's a strong droid for sure.
There we go. Very cool. Dreaming of Tomorrowland, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Is voting for Fantasyland. Happy Travel Vlogs is also voting for Fantasyland, and Austin throwing Star Wars a vote with the droids. And anyone, if they want to, can leave their favorite droid. Tommy, what's your favorite droid? Do you have one?
Yeah, and this is back from like 9-year-old, but from episode 1, the destroyer droids that like roll up into a ball and have the shields and stuff.
Oh,
they're the coolest things ever. I was like obsessed with them for the longest time. So that's definitely my number 1 droid. A little bit more obscure, but
those are cool because I've now seen all the prequels and those are very fun. Llama Floof is voting for the droids, and Haley says Fantasyland mostly because I can interact.
Fair.
Very fair. That's very funny. So I think this one is going to the droids, 4-3, which is fun. So the Star Wars droids are moving on. Next up, Tangled versus The Incredibles. So 2 movies going head to head here. 2 very different movies, but do you have one that's calling your name right away, or is this one tough?
Yeah, I think Incredibles jumps out to me. I think Incredibles is sort of like top tier Pixar and sort of Disney as a whole. And while I like Tangled quite a bit, I think it probably hurts that I didn't come to it until I was a little bit older, so I don't have that connection. Where Incredibles I've seen 50 times or whatever because I've been watching it since it came out. So
yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I remember vividly on like road trips and stuff, like in our van we had like the DVD thing on the back like of the headrest or whatever, and like I remember that me and my sister, like it was that you could watch like one movie, and I always wanted to watch like Incredibles, and I would always want to go to the scene like this exact scene where Dash is going through the thing and they have to fight on their own and then they all kind of come together. I like love that. I think that Incredibles is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it so much. And I just think that it's so good. Tangled is obviously great, but it's actually, like you said, like where like a lot of these movies you come to later as adults, like you don't have the same connection to them. And that's how I feel. Yeah, like as well on this one.
Yeah, Tangled still obviously super
good for sure. Haley says a tough break for Rapunzel, but Incredibles for sure. Llama Floof Tangled 100%. Austin and Caitlin are both voting for Tangled. Dreaming of Tomorrowland is voting for The Incredibles, and Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Tangled. So we got 4-4, I guess, here again, which is so funny that we're here. Maybe there's someone else to break a tie. Can't be Caitlin, because Caitlin already voted. So maybe it's Happy Travel Vlogs, your son, or someone else in the room, or a silent viewer. But again, maybe there'll be more people creeping in here. I know that it's closer to the holidays and like it's hard when like people like are busy, but I appreciate everybody coming in here, hanging out with us, and Tommy for joining me, and for everybody else watching this after. Yeah. So we'll see again if there's any votes coming on in. If not, we're gonna have to rock, paper, scissors. But I guess both of us voted for Incredibles.
Yeah, in the same way. Yeah. I don't know if we should defer to ourselves or the chat.
I guess so. I feel like that will probably we'll defer to the chat, I guess, is what I'll do. I
think that makes sense.
If there's any other votes. Amy is here and voted for Tangled.
That'll do it.
So that'll do it. Sending The Incredibles. Rapunzel took that pan and all 4 of them.
Right in a row, yeah.
Voting for Tangled. Next up, this fireworks show is Enchantment, which is the 50th fireworks show, which I have to put in here because I love it. And I know that it's Snyder. And I know in this matchup, it's not going to win. But this is the Toy Story franchise is what it's going up against. So Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together.
Yeah, shout out Enchantment. But I think Toy Story is running away with this one.
I agree. Even though I do love Enchantment, like I know that both of us kind of feel the same on this, where Toy Story was just like your like childhood thing. And it's just like we went to Target when we crossed over the border, and they had like all of the toys from Toy Story, kind of like ones that are at Disney, where it's like Woody and Buzz and Rex like in the box. And I was like, the day I have kids, they are having all these. Like I need a Woody, I need a Buzz, I need a Rex. Like I seriously, like just like yeah, I don't know.
I had a remote control RC as a kid, and it was just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, seriously. But again, I think for me, out of all these movies, I think that like I'm interested to see where they go, because they announced that they're doing Toy Story 5. So we'll see what happens. I've seen so many theories online about it, and I'm interested what they're going to do. Like I've seen that Andy's coming back and it's his kids. I've seen that it's all new toys, which I don't think is going to be true. I'm sure that Woody and Buzz and all them like will be back, because how could you not? But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited because I do love these characters. I love Toy Story, and it's just that's like my one thing. That and like Incredibles, like I think are my favorite Pixar things, like Toy Story 3 specifically. But yeah, I think this will pretty easily be a Toy Story sweep. Haley, Toy Story for sure. Llama Floof, Toy Story. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting Toy Story. Austin and Caitlin are both voting Toy Story. Dreaming of Tomorrowland is voting for Toy Story. And Llama Floof says Lotso is arguably the best Disney villain. He was robbed, in the villains bracket. I know Heidi would agree with you, Llama Floof, for sure. Thanks so much. And Stacy's here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Is voting for the Toy Story franchise. Again, Enchantment. I loved it. I still listen to the song all the time. But it just can't compete with a like 4-movie franchise like Toy Story. So
it's a tough draw. Yeah.
Tough draw. Moving on. Next up, Main Street USA versus the monorail. So tough one. Again, Main Street is, of course, with the ambiance. You come around the corner and you see like all the shops and Casey's Corner and all the fun things there and just the whole vibe about it. And then seeing that castle versus a mode of transportation in the monorail. Which way you thinking?
I like the monorail, obviously, and it can be super convenient. But I think I've grown to appreciate Main Street a lot recently and love sort of just mulling about, popping into shops. It can obviously get a little bit crazy at times. But overall, I think that the vibes stay high even when it is a little bit crazy. And now that they're doing projections on it as well, it's like a viable sort of fireworks location as well. You're not necessarily feeling like you're missing out because you're not up close to the castle. It's sort of like a secondary spot that you can be and still get like a really, really good experience. So Yeah, I've got to go Main Street, I think. But shout out to the monorail, obviously, backbone of Walt Disney World. But
seriously, yeah, that's actually like the most accurate way to put it. But I just love Main Street now. Like, I just think I love just like slowly taking my time, whether it's like at the beginning of the day or like end of the day. And I don't know if it helps when I was like on my program that like I wasn't like in a rush. So there was like certain things that like I've grown to like appreciate. And I just love like walking through the Emporium and looking at stuff, even if it's crazy. And like Casey's Corner and just like sitting there walking. There's like that little like spot where it's like, it's kind of, I think, by Starbucks where you can go and sit like in that back little corner where there's like nothing back there.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, just like super cool vibes in there. And I just love it so much. And of course there's like the castle shot walking down the road. But yeah, it's tough. I do love like the monorail, but there's another mode of transportation on here that I like more.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm definitely going to go for Main Street as well. And we'll see what the chat has to say. Happy Travel Vlogs is going to vote for the monorail. Llama Floof is voting monorail, pretty like enthusiastically.
Yeah, big monorail fan. Yeah.
Stacy's voting Main Street. Haley's voting for Main Street. So magical, and I love the shopping. Same. Austin and Caitlin both voting for Main Street. Llama Floof says monorail is true Disney magic. Yes, as Tommy said, the backbone. That's a good way to put it. The backbone of Disney World is the monorail. Main Street here for dreaming of Tomorrowland. Haley says, and the Main Street cars and stuff in the morning are so good. They really are. I wrote on that a few times, and that's pretty fun. I like it. And Llama Floof says it'd be awesome if there were more monorails. True. I guess like
disagree.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool transportation mode. I love that about Disney, how there's like a few different things. They got boats, monorails, skyliners, buses. They got everything over there. Yeah. Every transportation method you want, minivans, they got everything for you.
Yeah, you got it all.
But I think that's going to be Main Street, USA. Moving on. Next up, Han Solo and Chewbacca, the little duo, versus the People Mover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this one, I don't think.
No, again, I like tried to think of things from every corner of the Disney universe of like what people love, and Han Solo and Chewbacca people love, but like people also love People Mover so much apparently. Like it is like one thing where like all of my friends every time like on the program was like, let's go do People Mover, let's like, and every time it was just like you have to do People Mover. So we'll see on this one, but which way do you want to go? I think that I don't have as much of an attachment to Han Solo and Chewbacca because I haven't finished watching all of the movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, I like Han and Chewie a lot. Obviously, like a classic duo, and they're both really great. And we get a ton of Chewie throughout the movies as well, which is great that we get more of him. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the People Mover. It is just such a nice. It's like a break and a ride at the same time. So you get to like sit down and relax, but you also get to sort of zip around Tomorrowland. You get to see stuff like peeking over the Tron construction wall was so much fun when that was a thing. So gotta go with People Mover, just like a great, thing to do on your Magic Kingdom days.
I'm like so there with you. I think that it's just one of those where you can chill, take a load off, people watch, like just like I don't know, like there's like so many good things about it. I love that you can watch like the fireworks from there as well. There's like so many perks to it, and it's usually not a long wait. And even if it is, it's at least continuously moving, at least like a little bit. I do think though, from seeing people try to go up that ramp, I always think about that ramp. I'm like, that ramp's kind of gonna be an issue for like for some people sometimes, because that ramp is steep going up there.
Yeah, it's steep and it's not like super sturdy. It's got like that kind of weird rubbery give to it. So it's definitely something where whenever I'm stepping on, I'm making sure that I'm not taking it lightly.
Yeah, but I'm also going to vote for People Mover because I love it so much. I do think that Chewbacca is probably my favorite Star Wars character, just because I think he's so fun and he seems like he's like me, like we're tall and big. So I always got to go with those characters as well. But again, I don't have a super big attachment to them yet because I haven't seen all of the like original movies. So I'm going to vote for People Mover as well. Haley's voting for People Mover. Happy Travel Vlogs is also voting for People Mover. Llama Floof is voting for People Mover. So is Stacy. And Dreaming of Tomorrowland as well says that the vibes are the best in Tomorrowland, which makes sense because the name. Love it. Dreaming of Tomorrowland. There you go. Super fitting. Austin says Han and Chewie, Disney would still be Disney without People Mover. Can't say the same about Chewie and Han and Star Wars. There you go. And Llama Floof says Austin has a good point.
No, it's definitely true. Yeah, Han Solo is definitely like a big reason that those original movies work, and they're not just the most like ridiculous things ever. So
for sure,
definitely a tough one.
A tough one, yeah. But in this one, People Mover is moving on. People love the People Mover. Next up, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise of movies versus Monsters Inc.
Wow.
And I will say this, where I like genuinely have no like concept or recollection of the Pirates movies at all. Like if someone said like describe something that happens, I have no clue at all. And I feel like I should rewatch them because they're probably great. And like I know that Johnny Depp is awesome as Jack Sparrow. So again, I could be just off and I'm gonna vote for Monsters Inc. because I love Monsters Inc. and I could be sleeping on Pirates, but I haven't seen them. So that's my only thing that I'll get out of the way is that I don't know enough about them. Maybe you do, Tommy, and you can.
Yeah, my family was like weirdly enough really big Pirates of the Caribbean fans, at least like the 1 through 3. I think 4 and 5 are kind of universally accepted as not being very good. There's some fun stuff in it, but like they're not as good. But the first 3 I think are like really, really good and don't get the recognition that they deserve. And like it's kind of like a niche thing, but the CGI in the second and third ones is like incredible for the late 2000s. Like looks better than like half the stuff that like your Marvel and your Star Wars and like your bit like DC, like the big sort of big budget movies are doing nowadays. And this was 15 years ago and they look great. I think like 1 through 3, 2 and 3 blend together in my brain a little bit, but I think 1 through 3 are like really, really fun and definitely worth a revisit. And I think they probably hold up pretty well.
There we go. Look at that. Clearly got to go watch these because I know like people just like love these as well, and people love him as Jack Sparrow. Like there's just like so many things about it, like people love. So like I think this will have to be one that I go check out again. And Austin, I'll pull up your comment because it's making me laugh. But Llama Floof says Pirates. Austin says Pirates, no doubt. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting Monsters Inc. Stacy votes for Pirates, and Austin says we can watch them at New Year's if I still decide to come, and that's because they got a cat, and I'm super allergic to.
Oh no!
And I was totally joking with them when I sent messages. I was like, oh, like I think that I said, good thing that I saw your new place in videos because I can never come over now. And which I'm totally kidding. Of course, we're gonna come at New Year's, but I was just laughing at that. But we can check out some Pirates movies. Haley says this is the hardest for her so far, but probably Monsters Inc. though. And Dreaming of Tomorrowland says Monsters Inc. is my top Pixar movie. And I think on this one, we got
definitely close.
Another tie. Another tie.
Oh, God.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another tie. My goodness, who would have thought that the random Disney bracket would cause so much?
Yeah, so contentious. Yeah.
So split decisions. Maybe someone's gonna come in with a vote, but again, I think they'll have to check them out. I know that we didn't really talk about Monsters Inc., but just one of those classics that people love. Mike and Sully, everything about it. But yeah,
definitely great. Yeah, it's definitely really good. It was certainly a tough one, but yeah, I'm a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, I guess.
And Happy Travel Vlogs son is voting for Monsters Inc. Amy though came right with a vote for Pirates, which is so funny. But I guess I'll go to the chat and we'll check out the votes in here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. But I guess it's also tied because we're split.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're gonna do here is we are going to I'm gonna move on Pirates. I think that it was emphatically people people like them, and you gave a good reasoning.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors. Haley wants on the live
stream. We could.
Well, yeah. Like I guess on this one we're split.
Yeah,
so we could. Okay, do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And I'm on behalf of Monsters Inc. You're on behalf of Pirates. You ready? Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoe.
Monsters Inc. it is.
Live stream first. Rock, paper, scissors. It is. Wow, what a way to break the tie. Monsters Inc.
Both were super deserving. I'm not upset either way. I think that Monsters Inc. Is a good movie to move on either way.
There we go. Yeah, definitely for next time have to do like a random number generator or something other than rock.
Yeah, just keep a coin in your pocket or something.
Yeah, seriously. Next up we got Tom Holland Spider-Man, so specifically Tom Holland versus WandaVision, the show that took the world on. Like, yeah, it was just a whole sensation was WandaVision. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah, I think that Tom Holland, like I like him as Spider-Man, but I definitely got to do WandaVision. WandaVision for me was like, that was like a peak of Marvel where people were watching it online. There was like conspiracies and like, it was like a weekly thing where like you had to watch it. And me and Heidi just had such a good time with it. And I think that was her one thing where us watching that really made her love Wanda. So I've always loved that was like her thing that she loved. So I got to vote for WandaVision here.
Yeah, I like WandaVision quite a bit, but I think I might have sort of an opposite opinion as most people. I really, really liked the first 2 or 3 episodes, I think, where they were really heavy with like the different sitcoms. And there was, like you said, there was like I remember like Mephisto was a big thing on the internet. Like nobody knew what was going on. And I really enjoyed that, but I kind of felt as it went on, I didn't necessarily love the way it kind of unfolded.
That's fair.
Like I think with like the big villain reveal, I think it kind of like went downhill from there, at least in my opinion. I think that it's kind of, most people feel the opposite. But I also really, really love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think it like makes the most sense out of the 3 live action that we've seen. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited to see his sort of like new movies coming out off the back of, No Way Home. So I'm going to go with Tom Holland, but definitely kudos to WandaVision. I think WandaVision is really good. I'm just a Tom Holland stan, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. I think that he's the best. Like I said, for me, I just think that he's so great. Like, and for me, I when I was like younger, never had like an attachment to like the other Spider-Man stuff. I don't know if I just like didn't ever watch it, but I just think he's so great as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Like, I think he's a great mix of both. But like I said, for WandaVision, I think that I'm there with you too, where like those first episodes, I loved them so much. They were so great and so different than anything ever that they did before. And it was so fun to see like the black and white and all that stuff. So yeah, I could see either way. Like, I'm not mad with either of these, but Llama Floof is voting for Tom Holland. So is Haley. We have votes for WandaVision from Amy and Dreaming of Tomorrowland. Austin says this is so tough. It is a tough one. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Tom Holland. Stacy is voting for WandaVision. So again, we're all kind of divided here again with this one. And Austin's vote may decide this one as well.
Yeah.
So tough. Again, it's always hard when it's like, I guess like this one's more comparable where it's 2 Marvel things, even if it's a character versus show, but you can go based on like their movies and their appearances. And I think he's had some really strong like appearances, like you said, with like earlier with like him in Civil War.
Yeah, he's great.
Things like that. And I am excited to see which way that they go with him, like nobody knowing him as, I guess, either Peter Parker or Spider-Man, I guess.
Yeah, well, and that's what some of the good Spider-Man stuff is, when he just like has like a crappy job and has to like deliver pizzas or whatever, and like is trying to get a girlfriend and stuff like that, which I think will be a nice sort of change from, like Avengers Spider-Man. I think it'll be like a cool part too.
For sure. Austin isn't going to vote, which is so funny. I was hoping I didn't have to vote. And Caitlin's going to vote for WandaVision. So that breaks the tie, and WandaVision is moving on in this round against Spider-Man. Next up, we have Let It Go from Frozen versus Spirit jerseys. Specifically, the merchandise that people love that are expensive.
Yeah, they're definitely not cheap. Yeah.
No, they can be cool. They can also be wacky and a lot. But again, this one's hard. Let It Go is a song that is probably the biggest Disney song of all time in terms of like people like listening to it. But I think it's very hated, or like maybe not like appropriately hated, because people like are kind of over Frozen. But which way do you think that you want to go on this one?
If I could pull off a Spirit jersey, I might be tempted to vote Spirit jersey, but there's just no way. And I have to give credit to Let It Go. Let It Go was just everywhere for like years, I feel like. Just an absolute monster of a song. So got to give Let It Go props in this round.
I'm also going to vote Let It Go with you. I do have a couple Spirit jerseys. I have one from like the Christmas party that we went to, like the first ever time, and then like another green one that's not like super out there, like it's just plain green and stuff. I do think that they do cool stuff with them, but I think sometimes they're like just way too much for me also, where I'm like, I could never pull off like for example, like the 100th one or like the 50th one. I'm like, they're just way too much like glitter, sparkle. It's just not. So I'm also voting Let It Go. And the chat also, surprisingly for me, I guess like in this matchup, maybe not, but is all voting Let It Go. Let It Go's a bop. Let It Go. So many votes. Happy Travel Vlogs, Llama Floof, and Austin all voting Let It Go. And Llama Floof says t-shirt greater than Spirit jersey. Agree.
Yeah, definitely more of a t-shirt guy myself as
for
well.
sure. So Let It Go is moving on in this round. Next up, The Mandalorian TV series versus Cosmic Rewind. I guess on this one, can't really vote for Mandalorian because I haven't seen all 3 seasons. I've seen, I think, season 1 and 2. I'm like working through Star Wars stuff, but I had to take like a little break when school got busy, so I haven't watched like anything really lately. But we all know how I feel about Cosmic Rewind, so I'll just leave it there and vote for Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, I think The Mandalorian is generally good. I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag. There's definitely some episodes that aren't as great as the others, and they've recently gotten like really in depth with like sort of diving into some of the obscure characters. All that being said, Cosmic Rewind is like a hands down winner for me. It's so good. Like thinking back to like the first time I wrote it and then every other time ever, it's just such like a incredible experience. It's wild that it exists. And I love seeing people on the internet talk about it because it's just like universal. Everyone's just like, wow, this like blew my mind.
Yeah, like, and it's also one of those where like I remember trying to like explain it to my dad because my dad asked about it. And I was like, I don't even know how to like explain it to you. Like it's a roller coaster, but you like turn around a bunch of ways and there's like screens everywhere and it feels like you're in space. Like it's just all these things and you're like, how do you describe this? But that's like essentially what it is. It's a roller coaster where you turn around, but it's not even like that description doesn't even do it justice because it's just so good.
No, that first moment where they shoot you out, like the first time you see like the main building, that first time is just seared into my brain like forever.
Yeah, for sure. Seriously, I'll never forget that first time and just every other time. And then like even like small things, like when I got Conga for the first time, and just like, oh my gosh, it exists. Like just that kind of So definitely have to vote for Cosmic Rewind. Amy is voting for Mandalorian though. Llama Floof is voting for Cosmic Rewind. Haley says this one hurts without the pre-show for sure, Cosmic Rewind, but I still think it takes it. Llama Floof says watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine makes Terry Crews so much better in the pre-show. I love that show so much, actually, now that you say that. I watched that whole show, and it's so great. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting Mandalorian, and Dreaming of Tomorrowland says Cosmic Rewind. I still haven't been on it, but hopefully we'll go in the next month on my Disney trip. Woohoo! So fun.
Excited for you, yeah.
Seriously, I am so excited for you. And I wish that I could ride that right now. I'd be so happy. But Cosmic Rewind is moving on. Next up, we have the Arendelle Historians, which is in the Frozen Sing-Along, which are the two like hilarious people that kind of tell you the story of Frozen but do jokes along the way, versus Christmas at Disney World. So just encompassing the Christmas season at Disney. I think this one for me is pretty easy, even though I do love the Frozen sing-along and I think that they're hilarious. The Arendelle is like historians, but Christmas at Disney for me is just so good.
Yeah, I think your most recent vlog is actually the most interaction I've had with the historians of Arendelle in like a number of years. But even still, I think I would go with Christmas at Disney. I feel like Christmas and Disney go like hand in hand. They're just like almost like perfect complements for each other. So yeah, you can't beat that.
No, for sure. And Llama Floof says this is unfair. Well, this is the random bracket. So this was like I tried to think of some like just like this one again is just so random. It's
We've
like
had so many ties though, so it's been pretty even in a lot of them.
yeah,
But
for sure. But again, Christmas at Disney, I always say like we've now done Halloween and Christmas, and I think that I'm a Christmas at Disney person versus Halloween. Even though I loved like the Booty You parade and stuff, I just think that I just like Christmas more. And like you said, Christmas at Disney is just like a hand in hand thing where it's just so great. Where am I at here? Haley's voting for Christmas. Austin says Christmas at Disney, even though I've never been. LOL, that's funny. Stacy says we just returned from Disney World and the Magic Kingdom at Christmas time can't be beat. I agree. Happy Travel Vlogs votes Christmas, and Dreamy of Tomorrowland as well votes for Christmas at Disney. It is just so good, and like I do love how like all of the parks do Christmas, which I also think is a different thing from Halloween, where not really yet like all of the parks do Halloween at all. Whereas Christmas is at least everywhere, where like Animal Kingdom does like the Merry Menagerie stuff, and Hollywood Studios is like old timey, and now they have their own party. Like it's just a big deal for Disney.
Yeah, I'm pretty strictly like no Christmas before Thanksgiving at home. But we used to go in early November when it's still all decorated for Christmas, and I would be like all the way bought in.
Yeah.
I'd be all the way in the spirit. So
seriously. And honestly, like I think that some of our best ever memories at Disney are Christmas. Like we met you guys for the first time in like the Christmas time, like in like November. Like it's just it'll always be special. So definitely gotta vote for Christmas, and that's moving on. Next up is the old castle before the 50th versus Encanto.
I don't hate the new castle. I kind of like the new castle. I get why people miss the old castle, but I think a lot of that is you just miss being like 11, which like I do too. Like I wish I was still a kid. I think Encanto is really good. Another one of those where it didn't do great in theaters. I think it was like released in kind of like a weird time still for theaters. But Encanto is awesome.
Yes, I would agree. I think that for the castle thing, I love the new castle. Like I look at this castle and obviously like it's great because I've had like some awesome like times there, but I just think that the new one looks so much better.
The new one pops. Yeah, this like I don't know, this castle just like it looks like a Disney castle. The new one pops. I think it looks good. I don't like I get it, but
I'm with you. I don't know. And again, I just think that like this has kind of all the same color scheme where it's just kind of yeah, like it doesn't stand out to me. Whereas the other one, I'm like, yeah, there's like yeah, like some color on there, and it's just I don't know. So I'm also going to vote Encanto. I loved Encanto. I haven't watched it like in a long, long time, but I do love the music. I loved it so much, like seeing it like in theaters and like that whole time when I watched it. And I, like you said, like the new castle more. And the new castle might be in here somewhere, which is fun. And Austin says your best memories. I said some of my best. Austin, so funny. Yeah, like I think that it's hard as well because we were talking about this. Like every trip, there's like iconic moments, and it's like you think about every time that you've been to Disney, there's just like so many good things, and it's like you always every trip have like one or two memories of like this like stands out, and I think it's just like so cool, and I'm excited every trip that we do. There'll be like new memories and new things, which is so fun. So Austin, don't worry, so many great memories with you guys as well. Stacy's voting for the old castle. Haley says Encanto. I'm not nostalgic for the old castle at all. Austin and Caitlin both voting for Encanto. Happy Travel Vlogs also votes Encanto. And Dreamy of Tomorrowland says Encanto. Obsessed with it. And Austin says every time, really, it's so different, which is one of the best parts. I agree. Every trip is so different. You do new different things, and it's just great. It's the best. But Encanto, moving on. Next up, Darth Vader versus Friends on the Other Side.
Friends on the Other Side is a strong, strong song, but I think Vader is like, even outside of Disney, is just like a top villain in all of movies. And another one of those things where 11-year-old me would never forgive myself if I didn't vote for Darth Vader. So easy one for me on this one.
Yeah. I again like have not seen all three all three of the original movies. So for me, I don't know like everything about him, but after watching like the prequels and seeing how he becomes Darth Vader is so crazy to me. I'm like, he was like this like little kid and then turns out to be this like just like bad guy. And I honestly, like in the movies, I like hated him at the end. I was like, he's awful. But that's what makes him a good villain. Is
Yeah.
like he's had this whole arc. And I love that about like good villains. And I love how they did that like in the prequels. I don't know if that was like liked by people that they did do that, but I thought it was great. And I think, like you said, he's just a top like villain in terms of like movies in general, not even just like the Disney universe. Like he's like well regarded as like a top one. So I'm also going to vote for Darth Vader. I think he's so cool. And we'll see what our chat has to say. Austin says LOL, which is funny at this matchup. Darth Vader for Haley. Llama Floof says also Darth Vader. Austin says Vader ×2. Stacy votes for Darth Vader. And Austin says, just wait until you finish Return of the Jedi. There we go. I'm excited. I got to get through those. Hopefully over the holidays, I can watch a few. Also, shout out to Friends on the Other Side. A super great Disney villain song, but just not enough to take down Darth Vader.
Good song. Yeah, just got a tough matchup.
Next up, the Value Resorts versus the Skyliner. Tough one.
That one's really tough. I feel like this might be the toughest one for me. I love the Value Resorts. I think that like staying there, you don't miss anything. I think Agreed. I'm pretty sure we've stayed at sort of like all three levels and experienced a good amount. And I think the Value Resorts is a lot of time the most fun. They're always the sort of the best themed. But that being said, like a big reason of staying at Pop is to be on the Skyliner. So I think I just have to go with the Skyliner. The Skyliner, like totally a game changer, despite the, slightly overbearing voiceover that pops in. I think it is, one of the sort of best additions that they've made to the parks in like a long time. It's great being able to just hop on and bop around.
Yes, I would agree. I think again, like when I put these in here, I never like thought that they'd get matched up, but like you said, I think for me the biggest perk of the like Value, specifically Pop, is like the Skyliner. And I of those resorts would choose Pop, but solely pretty much for the Skyliner. And I think it's just such a big thing where like it's so easy and so simple and just so like effective and so fun, honestly. So I have to go Skyliner because it's so good, and you can get it if you stay at like other resorts. So I could stay at Caribbean Beach and do it, or like Riviera, which is not in my budget, but I just still think that I got to go Skyliner because it's so great. Haley agrees. Skyliner. Llama Floof as well. Happy Travel Vlogs. Caitlin and Austin also vote for Skyliner. And Stacy says, love Pop and Art of Animation, but the Skyliner gets my vote. I wish it went to all of the parks. I agree. It's great. And it's interesting to know how like each kind of like mode of transportation has like its own little area where like this is like Epcot and Studios, and Montreal is Magic and Epcot. Like it's very cool how they're there, Austin says it's the best Disney transport. Happy Travel Vlogs says Value Resorts, and you can use the Skyliner and Skyliner, but Pop Century is my favorite resort. I would agree. I love Pop Century, but Skyliner with a sweep. There we go. Next up, we got the Shaman of Songs animatronic versus Gideon's at Disney Springs. Tough one.
Yeah, I think this one would be tougher for me. And the Shaman is incredible. I feel like the last few years, and this is another thing that I think was in your most recent vlog, the Shaman's been like really inconsistent. I feel like the first couple years we were going, it was every single time. And now it's kind of more of a toss-up, which is like understandable because it's an expensive piece of technology, but still really, really frustrating. And like crumble cookies, you show up, there's, probably going to be cookies and they're going to be delicious. So just getting my vote out of sheer consistency, I think.
Yeah. Like it's also one of those where like Navi River is like, okay, but you're really riding that to see the Shaman at the end.
Yeah. That's what Haley said. It's like, it's the reason to ride the ride but the rest of it is like, fine.
Yeah. And then if you come around the corner and it's like, we got like the screen, you're like, what? What's going on here? This one's kind of hard for me. I feel like that like a lot of things that I factor in, like Gideon's is always like such a long wait that I think that like I went more obviously because I was on like my program, but it's just hard for both of these because I don't like love both of these. I do love like the shaman because Heidi loves it and I think that it's cool. So I'm gonna vote for the shaman because when it's working, I think it's incredible and so cool. Even though you said it's inconsistent, I'm still gonna toss her a vote over there. Llama Floof says crumble cookies is greater than Gideon's. There we go. Has anyone had crumble cookie in the chat and agrees? Maybe. Llama Floof is voting for the shaman. Haley's voting for Gideon's, specifically the coffee cake. Austin and Caitlin are split 1-1. Austin's voting for the shaman, and Stacy says Gideon's line was so long when we were just there, so we skipped it. We never skipped Navi River. We never skipped Navi River journey to see the shaman. So I think this one is going to the shaman, taking down some cookies, 4-3.
I think if I voted like 2 years ago, it would have been shaman hands down.
Yeah, that's fair. The shaman moving on. Next up, the genie, the character versus the Star Wars prequels. Tough.
Yeah, this one is definitely tough. Some really tough ones in this for being like a random matchup. Some really tough ones.
Yeah. Which way do you want to go? Do you know, or is this one tough?
This one is tough. So if you know, you can go. And I'll have an answer by the time you're done.
I'm gonna vote for the genie. I love the genie. We all know this, but I also do love like the Star Wars prequels, and I watched all three of them pretty quickly. Like I watched them within like 2 or 3 days of each other. Like I loved watching them, and I thought they were so good. I love a lot of the characters in them. I think that my favorite probably was like Obi-Wan. I loved a lot. I thought he was a super cool character. But there's also just like lots of good like stuff in there. I know that Austin's saying one character can't beat those 3 movies, which is fair. But for me, he's my favorite Disney character and is one of those where I just love that character so much. So for me, even though it's one character versus, like 3 big Star Wars movies, I got to go for the genie.
Yeah, it's tough. I really love the genie, but I don't think I have like that personal connection. Where growing up, like I loved the prequels. I still really, really like the prequels a lot. But I still absolutely love Revenge of the Sith. I've seen it like a million times. So I think even if it was just Revenge of the Sith, that would push me over. And the other 2 are kind of just like a package deal. So I'm going to go prequels. Definitely a prequels guy.
There you go. The Star Wars prequels for Tommy. Haley's voting for the genie. Stacy votes genie as well. Austin votes the prequels. Llama Floof says Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie. There you go with Tommy. So voting for the prequels. And like I said, Austin says one character can't beat those 3 movies. And surely enough, we're tied. Which is funny. Again, usually there's more people in here where it's kind of more there's more votes around. But again, I know that it's a holiday sort of close-up Saturday, so thanks for joining us. But we're split 3-3.
There've been some tough ones. I don't know.
Prequels and the genie; these have been tough. Again, hopefully. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, hopefully, Caitlin comes through with a vote.
Okay,
It was going to be the prequels, so the prequels are taking down the genie. We'll try to get through these because I know that this has been long, so hopefully we can get through these. But next up, we have the soundtrack for Tarzan versus pin trading at Disney World.
This one's easy for me. I'm going soundtrack for Tarzan. All-time soundtrack, Phil Collins, one of the GOATs. So gotta go Tarzan.
Yeah, this one's hard for me only because I love to pin trade, and I know it's like a big thing for us. But I do love the the Tarzan songs. I've listened to them more lately, ever since we kind of like talked about some songs and stuff. Like me and Heidi were talking about like Disney songs, and I put that on, and it's just like banger after banger, and the lyrics and the music, it's just so good.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where like the next song comes on, and you're like, oh my god, this song is on here too. It's like we're one after the other, one after the other.
Seriously, but for me, I'm going to vote for pin trading only because it's like a big thing for me that I love to do. And if it didn't exist, I'd be kind of sad that I couldn't pin trade. Yeah. So gotta go pin trading, but I think I'll be in the minority here because Haley says you cannot disrespect Phil Collins, so voting for Tarzan. Dreaming of Tomorrowland votes Tarzan. Stacy votes for Tarzan. Llama Floof says pin trading is so fun. I'm trying to collect a board filled with abstract squirrel pins. Very, very fun. Interesting. And Austin votes for Tarzan. Caitlin says no vote. How could you? Sorry. Hey, I didn't pick the matchup. I just stuck them in a bracket. But I think Tarzan's moving on. People love the Tarzan soundtrack, which is fair because it is super good and it's taken down pin trading. Crazy. Next up, the Captain America scene where he holds Thor's hammer versus Once Upon a Studio, which, if you haven't seen it, is the new little short for the 100 years. Have you seen it, Tommy, or not yet?
Yes, we watched it a couple weeks ago. It was on our like to-do list, and it was like a big blind spot. I think like the 14-minute runtime was a little bit of a barrier to entry, even though it's not really 14 minutes. Like the back half is credits. It's cute. It's good. I like it. That being said, I don't really think it can compare with Captain America wielding Thor's hammer. I feel like that's one of those moments where it's like, that's what I've been watching these 20 Marvel movies for. Like, this is what it all led up to. So,
yeah, this one's tough. I think, again, I remember like the moment, like seeing that happen, and it was just like, wow. Like, again, it's like one of those where it's like a payoff of like you said, I've watched these, and this was kind of hinted at, and then it actually happened, and it's just like super cool, and it's just one of those where like I was like, wow, like it was just like a wow moment. Whereas, like, I did love watching Once Upon a Studio, and I think it's so good and so great. But for me, I just think, like you said, like it just can't compare. Even though in that one there are so many, like it's just like all the characters in one, which is so cool because like you see them and you're like, oh, like I love them and I love them, and it's like the whole thing of like this whole company's history. Which I guess maybe now I'm into it. I don't know. This is hard for me actually because I really do love it, and I think watching that short, I like knew that people love like Disney and how much I love it, but I never truly realized how like big of an impact and how many movies there are that I just like love. But I'm still gonna vote for Captain America holding the hammer because it's just iconic, and we'll leave it there at that. Llama Floof is gonna vote for Once Upon a Studio. So is Stacy. And so is Dreaming of Tomorrowland. And Haley is voting for Captain America. There you go. Haley's a Captain America fan, maybe. Fun. But Once Upon a Studio, I guess we're tied again. 3-3.
You can flip back to Once Upon a Studio. You were on the edge.
I was. I just think that it's hard. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know why that I don't know.
It is like even just having them all together is like definitely cool. Like it's, especially since it spans so much time. There's like such a difference in the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and again, Caitlin and Austin are split, so that's also a split. But I just think that it's one of those things where like I love things that have like characters in them where they all come together. Like I love like the big like Marvel fights when it's all these characters together that you love that are like on the same screen together. And I think that was cool about like that short where like it's all these characters all together like interacting with each other, which I think that like maybe like you like never thought would happen, and then it did happen, and it's super cool. So I guess I'm gonna change my vote, which never happens because I just think in the grand scheme of things, I really love it.
I think they're both really I think they're both really good. It's another one that's super tough, obviously, because even the chat was split as well.
Dang, I never changed my vote, and now I feel like a fraud.
No, it's not like you totally flip-flop. You were on the fence to begin with.
Yeah. I'm on the line, and now that I think more about it, like I cried when I watched it, and I just love it. So I'm gonna vote Once Upon a Studio. Moving on. Next up, School Bread, which I had to put in here for you because you love it so much, and so do I. And going up against one of our favorites in Dinosaur.
Yeah, this is another tough one. Like you wouldn't think that you'd get so many tough ones out of it being so random. Yeah, I do really love School Bread. I feel like both of these are underappreciated. Dinosaur's been getting some more love recently, which has been great. But at the end of the day, I think I could live without the School Bread. I could find a replacement. I don't think there's going to ever be a replacement for Dinosaur when they inevitably get rid of it. I think it's going to be an empty spot in my heart for the rest of my days when they finally turn it into something else. So I've got to go with Dinosaur.
I'm so with you. I think it's going to be so sad when it's gone. And I just like it's one of those things where like like we wrote it with Caitlin and Austin, and then with like my friend Sarah, like in Victoria, and both of those times they just were like Caitlin was so just like it's like there's just like lots happening and it's loud and like I just like love riding it with people that think it's like so terrifying. I think it's hilarious to me, but I also just think that it's like an awesome ride, and I'm gonna miss it so much. Like you said, it's gonna be like a hole in my heart for sure because it's
Yeah.
so.
It is one of those things where, like, obviously I know they're animatronic dinosaurs, but there's still a part of me where it's like that thing's trying to eat me. Like,
It's
I don't know.
terrifying.
There's not anything else like that on
No,
Disney
it's
properties, so it's gonna leave a hole that probably
for
won't
sure.
be filled. So
It's very like overstimulating, but in the best way for me, where I'm like, this is so great. It's so funny. But a lot of love for Dinosaur here. Haley and Llama Floof, Stacy as well, because school bread is yucky, I'll say.
I get that. Yeah, I get it.
And Austin votes for Dino. I know I showed my mom and my aunt and my sister, I think, also tried school bread. And I was like, oh, this is so good, so great. And they took a bite and they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, like it's not, I guess, like the masses love it, but I do love it so much. But
yeah, I know people are really averse to coconut, which is a big thing.
For sure. But Dinosaur, moving on. Next up, Be Prepared versus Dole Whip.
I've been on a Dole Whip kick recently. Whenever we go to the parks, it's not something that I was doing for the most of our trips for the most of the time, but the last like year or so I've been into it. But Be Prepared is top one sort of Disney Renaissance songs. So I've got to ride with Be Prepared. It's just absolutely hits.
I agree. It is so good. And when you think of like a villain song, it's gotta be up there. Like, yeah, number one for sure, I think, for me as well. So I'm gonna vote for Be Prepared as well, because again, for Dole Whip, I think that I could find like a replacement for it, like you said earlier. Whereas Be Prepared, every time that I hear it, I'm like, it's so good. So gotta go for it. We'll try to fly through these if we can, because I feel bad now that we're like, I don't even know like which one that we're on, and we got to do like more rounds. But Be Prepared for Haley as well for Stacy, top tier villain song. Llama Floof is voting for Dole Whip, especially the coconut Dole Whip, and Caitlin and Austin are both voting for Dole Whip. And Llama Floof says that Shiny is a better villain song.
I'm not a Shiny boy. I know people love Shiny, but Shiny doesn't connect with me. I respect Shiny. Just not for me. I don't know why.
Not your jam. That's okay. Again, Dole Whip is one of those things that, again, I think is like, in terms of a Disney snack, is probably maybe the most iconic one, if not up there top tier with like a, I don't know, like a Mickey pretzel that people always think about, like a Dole Whip. But
sure.
It is good. And I agree with you that I think that Heidi liked it more, but now like I've come to like appreciate a nice cold little Dole Whip, even though that it melts so quickly. I still think it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love it.
Again, we're also tied. This has happened so many times.
No.
So we'll see if anybody else comes through. Austin says that Friends on the Other Side is a better song as well. So giving some love to some more villain songs, but we'll see if anyone pops in. If not, we're gonna have to rock, paper, scissors, or go with the chat, I guess. But we're both on the same. So the chat would be Dole Whip.
Yeah, which I mean, Dole Whip's another worthy one. Like you said, Dole Whip is absolutely iconic
for sure.
In the snack game. And I love a Dole Whip, so yeah, I'm not mad at Dole Whip.
Well, Dole Whip is going to move on. We'll go with our chat here who picked this tasty treat. Next up, the Muppets versus Goofy.
I like the Muppets. I think the Muppets are funny. I didn't grow up with the Muppets. I think Goofy is like the best. And there's so many iterations of Goofy. There's like cartoon Goofy. There's, Goofy walking around the parks, meet and greet Goofy. So I'm going to go with Goofy.
I'm also going Goofy. He's my favorite. And again, I never have an attachment to the Muppets, never had. And also like I get how people love them. I just was not one of those people. And I got to go Goofy. He is just like my dad loves him. And I think that was part of the reason why that I love him, is my dad always would talk about him and loved him. And I know that Haley says that they did the new one dirty, but he's got some charm to me. The engineer Goofy and in the shorts.
Yeah, and he's funny. Like, he is a little yucky looking, but he's funny. He makes me laugh.
For sure. Austin's going Goofy. Llama Floof is voting the Muppets. Stacy's voting Goofy. Haley's voting Goofy, like I said, even though he was done dirty with the new ones. And Caitlin's voting for the Muppets. Fun. I don't know who like my favorite of the Muppets would be because I don't have like an attachment. But I will say I love the two guys that sit up in the theater in Muppet Vision. I think they're very funny.
Yeah, I like was it Sam Eagle? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, he's
makes me laugh in the Muppet Show.
Yeah, he's good.
Where it's like an ode to all nations, but mostly America. I think that's very funny.
I agree. That is so funny. But Goofy is moving on in this round. Next up, the princesses in Ralph Breaks the Internet. That scene of all of them coming together versus the Tower of Terror.
I think that scene is a really fun scene. I'm like glad they did that, but it's like 10 minutes in a movie. And Tower of Terror is a really, really good ride that's been around for a while and will be around for a while. So gotta go Terror. Just out of respect. If
they ever change it at Disney World, I'll actually be sad. I'm excited to try Mission Breakout for the first time next year, which is wild.
Yeah, Mission Breakout's awesome. It's fun. You'll like it a lot for sure.
But I'm like, I just like I love that it fits at Hollywood Studios like that. So I hope that they always keep it there. But I just love how it's like iconic and people love it. And like the pre-show is great and just like everything about it. I think it's also top tier of like Imagineering how they did it. I think is so cool. And it's one of my favorites. So gotta go Tower. That's probably, I would say, in Hollywood Studios, if I had to ride one thing, it'd be Tower for me. So gotta go Tower.
Yeah, it's so unique.
Yeah. And like you said, I do love that scene, but like Llama Floof said, Tower of Terror beats that whole movie.
Very true. Very true.
Haley's also voting Tower, so is Llama Floof. But like I do love stuff like that though, where they bring in all these characters because I think it's cool to see that, and I hope that they do more with that. Like I think it'd be fun to see like that kind of stuff. I know like it was like a unique circumstance with like the internet and stuff, but like it was cool to see all like those princesses all together. So maybe they'll do stuff like that.
It's fun watching them interact with each other. They should take advantage of the fact that they have so many iconic, like recognizable, beloved characters.
Yeah, for sure. Austin and Caitlin are both voting Tower, and Tower is going to move on to the next round. Next up, the Newcastle versus Donald.
I like the new castle. I think it's better than the old castle, but I don't think it's better than Donald. I think Donald's hilarious. I think Donald's great. Gotta go Donald.
Agree. I think Donald is so good. I think that they're like, I don't know if this is true, but it's true for me. But like, I'm much more of a Goofy Donald person, which I've said multiple times, over like a Mickey person. So gotta go Donald. He's so good and so funny. And again, I love the new castle. I like it better, but can't be better than this guy because he's
for sure not.
Haley's voting for Donald. Llama Floof is voting for Donald. Dreamy of Tomorrowland as well, and Caitlin and Austin. And Llama Floof says, actually, I vote for the Muppets. Oh, that is so funny. Again, sorry that I'm flying through these, but I realize we've been on here and I'm like, we have to do the second round. So maybe there's too many in here, but I thought that this would be fun. So hopefully we're having fun.
No, I'm having fun. I don't know if anybody else is having fun, but I'm having fun.
Me too. Donald, clean sweep. Moving on. Next up, lightsabers specifically versus Harmonious.
This, I think, might even surprise myself a little bit. I think, and this might just be a recent thing, I think I'm a little bit over lightsabers. I think I liked lightsabers a lot as a kid. I don't necessarily think I need lightsabers in all my Star Wars anymore. And Harmonious is a underrated gem that was taken from us too soon because people didn't understand the barges. So I'm going to go with Harmonious.
I agree. I don't have like an attachment to lightsabers. I think that they're cool, and I've liked like things that I've seen from them. I love, like, I don't know his name. He's the guy. He's like a droid, but he has like all the arms.
General Grievous, yeah, I love General. He's awesome, yeah.
Like I think it's like I love like the scenes where he has his and he's like swinging like 2 or 3 or 4 of them around. Super cool, but I'm like a super big Harmonious fan, and I would love to bring it back. And I love how the chat as well is like right here, Haley. Of course, we know Haley would be bring back the barges, but even Stacy's like, give me those barges.
It's usually a very anti-barge group, I feel like, so it's nice to have the times
Agree.
on our side.
Yeah, and also Llama Floof is voting harmonious as well. I've not watched anything of the new show. Like, I think is it like Luminous, which also has some barges, but apparently those barges can be removed during the day, so they're not in the lagoon permanently. They like put them in for the show and take them out after, so people can have their view of the World Showcase. But
Yeah.
I've heard people say it's not better than Harmonious. So
Well, I just don't like. I know Haley and I always talk about it. Like, if the anti-barge people saw what World of Color at DCA looked like for most of the day, they'd have a conniption because it's hideous. Like all day, there's people out there working on it. Like, it's such an eyesore, way worse than the barges.
right.
That stuff, it just doesn't bother me. Like, I don't mind it.
I'm with you. So Harmonious is moving on against some lightsabers. Next up, Genie Plus. Which I put in here as a joke, knowing that nobody's going to vote for Genie Plus, but it's going up against Fantasmic, my favorite nighttime show.
I think Genie Plus is better than like no system at all. But yeah, no, it's Fantasmic for sure.
And like I also thought about putting in like the OG Fast Pass, but then I was like, if I put that in there, people just love that. That's gonna like take the cake because people love it so much. But Genie Plus, again, it's a fine thing, and we didn't use it our last trip, but have used it before, and I'm fine with it. But Fantasmic, I'm not going to talk about it a ton because I talk about it every minute of my life, even in the car wash. I'm doing Fantasmic, but I love it so much, and it's so good. So my vote is Fantasmic. Kennedy, welcome. Thanks for being here. Is saying Fantasmic, obviously. Fantasmic is iconic. Haley says, I love Genie Plus. We get to ride so many rides, but Fantasmic for sure. Genie Plus, I'm Bob Chapek. Very funny. In disguise. I'll also never forget a story, which I haven't like told on here, I don't think, but one of my coworkers, I think that I've told you this, she was backstage and she asked this man for his like ID and asked him where he made magic, and it was Bob Chapek, which is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like better to check him than like him be like, hey, like, aren't you gonna ask who I am or whatever? But it is definitely funny. Yeah, my stomach would drop. It's like, yeah.
Same. Stacy says, I like a Genie Plus. We ride everything we want to with no wait, but it doesn't beat Fantasmic. I agree. Fantasmic is so good, even though the seats are not comfortable. I at least get to sit down. Austin votes for Fantasmic and says that Genie Plus is overrated if you grind those out and rope drop and stay till park close. That's true. Yeah, certain times you can get that done for sure, which we did, which was so great.
We definitely don't need it. Yeah, for sure.
No. Fantasmic, moving on. Next up, Carousel of Progress versus Figment.
I don't love either of these. But I think Figment has some charm and has grown on me. Where Carousel of Progress, like, I get it. Like, I get it. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe that makes me a bad fan, but I just like, I don't know. I don't care.
I'm also the same on that. I think that the last maybe 2 trips we haven't done Carousel of Progress because it's long, and I get that it's like iconic and cool and stuff, but I think it's just like not for me. I'm just not a Carousel of Progress person. My dad, like we rode it in 2018. He fell asleep instantly and was snoring in there, and it's like so embarrassing. But I got to vote for Figment because, like you said, at least he has some charm and he's fun and cute.
Which is good. Like,
yeah. Llama Floof says the crowd makes waiting for Fantasmic so fun. Yes, that was one of my jobs, and I loved it so much. It was so much fun. Austin votes for Figment. So does Caitlin. Kennedy says Carousel of Progress. Haley says Figment. If Carousel of Progress was properly air conditioned, I may vote it. Stacy votes for Figment. Dreaming of Tomorrowland votes for Carousel of Progress. Tyler, welcome. Thanks for being here. Is also voting for Carousel of Progress, and Llama Floof is voting for Figment. So Figment, moving on, taking down the iconic, outdated maybe Carousel of Progress. Had to say it. I'm sorry. Next up, for all you lovers of nostalgia, the Great Movie Ride, which I had to put on here because everybody always talks about this, and that it should have stayed. Runaway Railway is not as good. All that stuff going up against Ratatouille. Tommy, how do you feel about this one?
This one's tough for me because I do love the Great Movie Ride, but I'm also one of those people where I don't like you kind of said, I'm kind of over the complaining. Like it's not something that could exist. Like they didn't really have a choice. Like they lost the license to use like half of the stuff in there. That just is what it is. I don't love Ratatouille as much as some other people do.
Yeah.
So this one's tough for me. I think I'm still gonna go Ratatouille out of principle though. Moving on, leaving the past behind us. You gotta let go. So I'm gonna go with Ratatouille.
That's fair. I'm gonna vote for Ratatouille also, even though it's not my favorite Pixar movie. I like remember Great Movie Ride like a little bit, but I just again don't have like the attachment to it that like a lot of people do. Like people obviously love it so much, and I thought it was cool. I don't like. I think like I probably wrote it last when I was like 10. Like I don't know like about it that much. So for me, it's not like one of those where I'm like, oh, like I miss riding that. And I love Mickey and Minnie, so I'm okay with it.
It was fantastic. Like it was really good, but it's fun. I had to go.
It is what it is. Had to go. Kennedy says, I like the rat. Llama Floof is also voting for Ratatouille. Stacy votes for GMR. Haley says, great movie ride, but I love Ratatouille. I wish they would have put Mickey and Minnie's somewhere else. That's fair.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a thematic fit or whatever.
No. And I'm excited to ride it at Disneyland because it fits super well over there. Austin says Ratatouille, never rode Great Movie Ride at ×2. And Dreaming of Tomorrowland also votes for Ratatouille. There you go, Ratatouille. Moving on, taking down Great Movie Ride. Next up, Avengers Infinity War versus Halloween at Disney. Tough.
I think, like you mentioned, Magic Kingdom is the only one that really, really does Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not as much a Halloween person as some other people are. I think some of the merch they put out is pretty good, but other than that, I'm not super interested. And I love Infinity War. I think it's the best Marvel movie. It like blew me away in theaters when we saw it. So I'm gonna go with Infinity War.
I'm also with you. I think it's so good. I'll never forget when they all got snapped away, and you're like, who's getting snapped away? And like all of like just like everything about it. Like it's a good build up. I love Thanos as a villain. I love Austin's comment, but Halloween is great. Obviously we got to do it this past trip, and it's great. I just don't like it as much as Christmas. I do love like the Halloween parade. I loved the whole Halloween party and the whole vibe, but like you said, I think that Christmas everywhere just makes it a big thing when it's at all four parks. So I'm also going to vote for Infinity War. Haley as well agrees, and Stacy's voting Halloween. And Austin says no vote because both are a 10 out of 10.
I can respect it.
I respect it as well. I know that they both love Halloween at Disney so much, and it was great. Yeah, like you said, I love like the merch and stuff, and just like some things about it. But I just don't like it more than Christmas. So that's why it can't be my vote. So Infinity War is going to move on with 3 votes in this one. Nice. It's just not our night, guys.
No, we had a good run though. I mean, we've been going for a little while.
We had a good run. I don't know what it is with this website lately. It's just it's not for me right now. So give me 1 second while we do some technical issues here.
Yeah. Speaking of how I feel like I feel like for Halloween for me, like Christmas, it's easy to do just because it has such a vibe. Where I feel like the Halloween vibe is usually scary and like nailing like spooky, if that makes sense. Like kind of harder to do. Like it's hard to really get that atmosphere unless you're like really leaning into it and doing like the Universal Halloween Horror Nights where they're just like full on like terrifying because then it's everywhere.
Like I think that like if they ever do like a Villains Land at Magic Kingdom, I think that for Halloween will be super cool.
Yeah, because sometimes the Halloween, I feel like it just feels like fall, where it's like it doesn't have that like Christmas magic that it does when it's Christmas time. Yeah,
for sure. So Infinity War, moving on. All right, we're on our second round. Let's do it. Here we go. We have Happily Ever After versus Photopass. And like Austin said, it's not so scary though. That's fair. That's their whole brand.
It is true. It is true.
Photopass versus Happily Ever After.
I'm going Photopass. Lots of great memories captured via Photopass. Shout out to Photopass.
Agree. Shout out to Photopass. It's great. And again, I think it's it's hard when it's like a whole fireworks show versus like pictures, but the pictures are so memorable. And like we literally print out our pictures and put them in a photo album. We use them for posts and stuff. I love that. Like I think it's great. And if you get a good cast member, like I know that we had our little thing where we did like our capture your magic or whatever.
Yeah.
And and they were so great, those two guys. It was so fun. So
yeah, it's so good.
Haley says the Photopass wins for me. Stacy votes for Happily Ever After. And Llama Flute says Photopass. Ride photos are great. Best ride photo. I know my best ride photo is the picture, and it's with you guys, and it's when Haley is on Guardians like this. I don't remember what song. I think it was We Got Everybody Wants to Rule the World Again, and Haley was not impressed. And we look at that picture every time and we just laugh. I think it's so funny.
Those pictures are like so clear and you can see everything in those too. Like sometimes it's like a little bit distorted.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one is good.
Super funny. And Austin votes 2 votes for Happily Ever After. But Photopass is moving on by 1 vote. Next up, we got Emperor's New Groove versus Rise of the Resistance.
I love Emperor's New Groove. Think it's really good. I think it's underrated. I don't even know if it's my favorite in that sort of group of forgotten movies, though. I think Rise of the Resistance is like a total game changer in how you can sort of present story via an attraction. So I gotta go Rise.
I agree. Gotta go Rise. It is just so good. And every time that I ride it more and more, I like appreciate it. And every time that I've gotten it where it's like everything works perfectly, it's so good, which is so awesome. It's just such a good attraction. Llama Floof, of course, throwing a vote for the Llama movie.
I have to respect it.
Yeah, have to. Austin's voting for Rise, and so is Caitlin. Stacy votes Rise. Haley votes Rise, and Austin is saying, I guess, no more Llama. The Llama's dead. Is that a shot fired at Llama Floof, Austin?
The Llama movie had a good run, though. Second round for Emperor's New Groove. It's not bad. In an all Disney's thing draft,
True. I would agree. But it just can't take down Rise of the Resistance.
No, ran into a tough one.
It did. That one's moving on. Next up, Austin, that is mean. Says life. Next up, we got the 3 Disney Plus Pixar movies, Luca Turning Red and Soul versus the droids of Star Wars.
There's just so much variety in the droids. Like you get the mean droids, you get like the funny droids. I feel like whenever they need like a quirky side character now, they just like make it a droid, and I'm totally on board with it. No complaints from me. I'm going droids.
I agree. Gotta go the droids. I think that they're so funny and there's a good variety. And like you said, there's like those like after that you said those cool ones that roll like in the ball. Those are awesome.
Yeah. There's ones that like their arm is a gun. Does that make sense? No, but like it's awesome. Like
it's so cool. And you have like, I don't know, there's just like you said, so many good ones and like a good like mix. So I gotta vote for the droids. Haley as well votes for the droids. Stacy votes for the droids, and Llama Floof is specifically Luca, a big Luca fan. There you go. So is Heidi. Heidi loves Luca. She loves Luca and Onward, which were 2 I think also kind of like maybe not like Luca as much, but like Onward was like super forgotten. It was like right before the pandemic, and then just
Onward was like the first like a week before everything shut down, at least in the States. So like I forgot. I like Onward a lot too. I need to revisit all those movies. I think if I went back, I would probably enjoy them a little bit more.
Agree. But I think that the droids are gonna win out here. Again, I'm gonna try to wait for some votes, but I also don't want this to be hours and hours. So we can get through it. I'm sorry, Tommy. But yeah, Caitlin and Austin are voting for the droids again with that whole variety. So the droids. Moving on. Next up, Tangled versus the Toy Story franchise. I think it's a tough draw for Tangled.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 1 good movie against 4 good movies. Even if you like them all the same, it's just the quantity play at that point.
Yeah. Which one of those is like is your favorite? Like the original Toy Story?
I think I revisit the original a lot, and I'm surprised at how like brisk and quick it moves on. I never sort of like lose attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the others in a while, so I should give like 2 and 3 another revisit, because the first one is one that we'll chuck on, and I'm like, before I know it, yeah, it's 90 minutes later or whatever. But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this is also no hate to Tangled because I love Tangled. I think it's great.
I like Tangled quite a bit.
But like I said, Toy Story, my kids are gonna have all the toys. They're gonna play with them, and which is funny. But gotta go Toy Story. Haley also votes for Toy Story. Llama Floof, or sorry, Caitlin and Austin are voting for Tangled. Llama Floof is voting for Tangled. Stacy votes for Toy Story and specifically likes Toy Story 3. That's my favorite one too. I also I've never revisited Toy Story 4. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I think that's probably my least favorite of the 4, but maybe I'll have to revisit all of them as a lead up to Toy Story 5 whenever that comes out.
Yeah, I remember thinking oh, Toy Story 4, what are they even making it for? But I thought, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it probably is the weakest of the 4.
Yeah.
But I still think it's probably pretty good.
For sure. Toy Story franchise. Moving on. Next up, Main Street USA versus the People Mover. An attraction versus a street.
Yeah, this one's hard because I feel like they both kind of encapsulate their respective regions of the park.
Yeah, for sure.
People Mover is one of the best ways to take in Tomorrowland. But I think I got to go Main Street just from the variety. It's got a couple good places to eat. It's got, all the merchandise. You can catch the tail end of the parade, which there are some really good spots to watch the tail end of the parade there. So going to go Main Street, but it's a tough one.
I'm also going to go for Main Street. I also love at the holiday times. There's holiday stuff there. I just think that it's it's just so Disney and the entrance to the park, which
it's
so
the
cool.
gateway, yeah.
Right, and it's it leads you to this iconic thing, and there are great stuff along the way, like you said, the shops and the food and stuff. So, gotta go Main Street, even though I do love the People Mover. I just think that Main Street is just I don't know, something about it. It's very charming, you know, Disney charm
for sure.
Haley says ouch. And Llama Floof is voting for People Mover. Stacy says Main Street. Caitlin and Austin are both voting Main Street. So is Haley, even though this one hurts.
Definitely hurts.
And Dreamy of Tomorrowland says this one's so hard for me, but I have to say Main Street. There you go. Main Street USA. Moving on. Next up, Monsters, Inc. versus WandaVision. Interesting. What do you think?
I think I'm more likely to revisit Monsters, Inc., where I don't necessarily know if that's true for WandaVision. So for that, I lean Monsters, Inc.
I agree. I think this one's harder for me than I maybe thought at first glance because I do love WandaVision. But if I'm gonna revisit something, I'm just gonna stick on Monsters Inc. and kind of have it on in the background or whatever. And I do love the characters. I think that there's just something about them where I don't know. That's one of my things as a kid where it was Monsters Inc., Incredibles, and Toy Story. So gotta go Monsters Inc. Haley is voting Monsters Inc. So is Stacy, and Austin and Caitlin are both voting for WandaVision, which I also do love. Like you said, there's so many good aspects about it. And it was one of those where I think that Marvel's got to get back to that kind of era where it was you had people guessing and it was what's happening and stuff. I just think it was really good peak for them in terms of their Disney Plus shows. It's kind of tailed off a bit since then. So hopefully they can come back to some of that stuff. But Monsters Inc. is moving on. And I'm sorry if your vote's coming after, like I said, before, because I don't really know how many more rounds we got here, but Monsters Inc. is moving on. Next up, we got Let It Go versus Cosmic Rewind. Interesting.
Heavy hitters, but I personally prefer Cosmic Rewind, so that's what gets my vote.
Gotta be. I think that Cosmic Rewind, when I was putting all these all together, I tried to pick some heavy hitting things, which I hope that I did, but Cosmic Rewind to me is one of those where it's a heavy hitting thing. And it's so good and it never gets old. Honestly, I wrote it almost every day for 3 months, which is so just so crazy, so silly. And it never gets old to me. I literally I don't know. It's the one attraction that to me just never gets old. So gotta go for it, you know?
Absolutely.
Haley votes for Cosmic Rewind. Caitlin and Austin do as well. Stacy votes for Let It Go, and Llama Floof says Let It Go deserves a vote. I agree that it's incredible. I'm in the camp of like the non, like I guess if there is like the Frozen fatigue, I'm in the other camp where like I think it's great. I think there's more there. I love the songs. I think it's great. Like I understand that it's overplayed and stuff, but Let It Go is a great song. So
yeah, it was everywhere for like 2 years for a reason. It's good.
yeah, seriously, which is crazy. That's crazy. But Cosmic Rewind is moving on. Next up, Christmas at Disney versus Encanto.
Encanto, very strong. I just don't think it has enough juice to beat Christmas at Disney. I think it's just a match made in heaven. Just strong a pair.
I agree. Encanto, super good. I think kind of like I won't even say like underrated, but I think at the time it was, and then it kind of over time got like super big. I think with like whether it was like on TikTok or certain things, people just like loved Encanto, and I think it's so great as well. I will say, haven't rewatched it since then. I think that I've watched it maybe twice, but Christmas at Disney is just unmatched. I think it's going to be a heavy hitter in this bracket to make it pretty far. So that's got to be my vote. Haley says Christmas. Llama Floof says Christmas is most likely our winner for this bracket. Maybe. It very well may be. Stacy votes for Christmas at Disney, and Caitlin and Austin do as well. So Christmas with a clean sweep against Encanto. Next up, Darth Vader versus the Skyliner. So random. Very funny. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you know right off the bat which one you're going?
Yeah, I mean, I have to give Darth Vader his props, but I think that like the Darth Vader heyday is kind of like it's in the like original trilogy, and it's like a little bit sprinkled throughout. Where I think they're kind of like done telling the story for the most part. Where the Skyliner is just going to be like the best way to get around Walt Disney World for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So in like a tough one, it's like I think I just have to look at who's gonna give me more joy in the future, and that would probably be the Skyliner.
There you go. The chat is all Skyliner so far. Stacy laughing, saying the Skyliner. Haley and Llama Floof also voting Skyliner. I'm gonna vote for Skyliner also, which is probably silly because like Vader probably he's more iconic, like for sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I just like don't have the attachment, and like I love the Skyliner, and I love this comment by Austin Vader ×2. He cuts down those cables and shuts it down. If this was like our Disney knockout battle, then for sure.
Yeah, I think Vader would go really far in like a character bracket or like you said, like a knockout bracket. But I think since this is like all encompassing, just tough to move it past. Yeah.
Yeah. People are loving the Skyliner. So the Skyliner takes down Darth Vader. Who would have thought? Next up, the Shaman of Songs versus the Star Wars prequels. I think this one is, I don't know, maybe tough for some people or maybe not, but I'm going to vote for the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, it's prequels for me too. They've had a bit of like a renaissance where they were really hated for a while, and now the people that grew up with them are like internet age, and they're able to say like, no, I love these movies, and I'm one of those people who loves those movies. That grew up with them, watched them all the time. I think they're great.
Yeah, I like of course watched them like a month ago or 2 months ago, and they're great. Like I love them. I really do, and I think that it's so cool to watch them in that order where like you see like the Darth Vader kind of like evolution, I guess, which is cool. I do love, of course, Navi River and the Shaman, but gotta be the prequels. Haley agrees. Star Wars, Llama Floof, Caitlin and Austin and Stacy all voting for the prequels. And Llama Floof says, when's the next Disney knockout? In the new year, there will be another Disney knockout. Yeah, exciting stuff. Hopefully people like those because that was fun last time. But we'll do another one in the new year, and I'll talk about that like at the very end. But the prequels is moving on. Next up, the Tarzan soundtrack versus Once Upon a Studio.
I like Once Upon a Studio. I think it's cute, but I think the Tarzan soundtrack has just too many bangers. I just can't.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I can't stiff anything to it.
Apparently I guess like last time, this one made me change my vote to Once Upon a Studio because I don't know. I just think maybe it's like recency bias, but I'm gonna vote Once Upon a Studio. But I need to, after this, I think, give a full Tarzan like listen, I think, because I don't always like listen to Disney music, and if I do, it's kind of more like recent stuff that I like. Like I've been listening like to stuff from Wish or like Park stuff, but I gotta give Tarzan a listen. Like I know that there's iconic and amazing songs. I just haven't like listened to it in a while. So recency bias, I guess I'll go Once Upon a Studio because it made me cry. But I think Tarzan, of course, Tarzan, and 2 votes for Tarzan. People love the Tarzan soundtrack, and that is going to move on in this round. Next up, Dinosaur versus a Dole Whip.
I love a Dole Whip, but I'm riding with Dinosaur till the end. You can pry Dinosaur from my cold, dead hands.
I would agree. We're gonna get chained up at the front now. Lava Floof also voted for Once Upon a Studio with me as well. But I think that I was originally more accepting of Dinosaur leaving when it was going to be Zootopia, because I was like, oh, at least I'm going to get some like Zootopia representation. But now, like, that all I'm getting is a dumb show in the Tree of Life for Zootopia. Don't get rid of Dinosaur.
Well, that's what, after seeing those Zootopia like builds in Shanghai or Hong Kong, I can't remember which one. Like that sort of implemented in like maybe like the dinosaur track system would be mind blowing. But
now that it's going to be the Indiana Jones ride over at Disneyland, which I've never done, which is probably great, but I just love Dinosaur so much. Did you guys get to ride that when you were there?
No, it was under refurbishment when we were there, but it is so weird to me that they're doing that, especially since they like rethemed Tower of Terror in California to be different, like as a point of differentiation.
Right.
To like theme Dinosaur into a pre-existing ride seems bizarre to me, especially it being Indiana Jones, which like the last movie didn't do great. Like it's not like the kids love Indiana Jones. Like,
I agree. I'm right there with you. So I'm going to vote for Dinosaur. I love it, and I'll be so sad that it's gone. And maybe, I don't know when it's going to close, but maybe like this last time was our last time riding it. Like I don't even know when it's going to close, which is
I don't know. We were talking impromptu trip.
Seriously,
announce it.
Seriously, just to ride it. But Haley's voting for Dino. Stacy and Llama Floof are voting for Dole Whip, and Caitlin and Austin are split with 1-1. Austin voting for Dinosaur, which means we're tied. Are we? Yeah. No, 4-3.
Yeah.
I was like, are we gonna have to do another rock, paper, scissors? Because Dinosaur is moving on. Next up, Goofy versus Tower of Terror.
It's hard.
It's just hard because I think in my head of like I'm voting for one and then the other one like leaves, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what I would miss more if it didn't exist.
I think I would miss Goofy more.
I think I agree. I think I really like Tower of Terror, but I think if it was like closed for whatever for the day, I would be like, bummer, but like my day wouldn't be ruined. Or like if you told me like there's no Goofy, I'd be like, what do you mean there's no Goofy?
Yeah, I kind of think that way as well. I'm like, you can't go meet him. He's not like in any movies or the shorts. Like he's just gone.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I'm also going to vote for Goofy, even though I love Tower. It's just like I can't not have Goofy at all. No merch, no meet and greet, no nothing.
Can't exactly.
Haley's voting for the Goof, so is Stacy. Llama Floof is voting for Tower and says that the Muppets were robbed. I guess was by Goofy, right? So that's
yeah.
And Caitlin and Austin are split, with Austin voting for Goofy and Caitlin voting for Tower of Terror. But the Goof man, who would have thought, taking down Tower of Terror?
Yeah, not me. Let's go Goofy.
Seriously, high five, buddy. Stacy says, I have to get going. If it comes down to Christmas at Disney versus anything else, count my vote for Christmas. Well, there you go, Stacy. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you, Stacy, for sure. Donald versus Harmonious. I guess my logic is kind of the same as Tower versus Goofy.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. I think I gotta go Donald.
It's tough. Yeah. I agree because I never until now thought about it that way, that whatever I vote away, if I had to pick, I guess is going away. So I'm also voting Donald. He's great.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? 2 rounds from now, I might totally change my line of thinking. But for the moment, that's what I'm rolling with. And I'm going to roll with Donald.
That's how I feel. I'm going Donald as well. Llama Floof is voting for Donald. Haley's voting for Donald as well. Harmonious, of course, is great. We all know we love it. This is a pro Harmonious channel and a pairing because you guys love it as well.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for all of us one day to go watch like the new one and go, not as good.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. But again, I just think that it was so good, so Epcot. Like the soundtrack's good, but Donald is just an icon. Meeting him, the cartoons, whatever it is. Austin as well voting for Donald. So Donald, moving on. Next up, Fantasmic versus Figment. Sorry, Figment.
Yeah, not hard. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easy. Again, like, and I liked this show even before working there. Like, I know that like everybody thinks that I just have recently loved it, which I do more so now than ever. But I remember going as a kid and I loved Fantasmic. It was so good. And like just all of the aspects about it. And then like as you go like as an adult, like you see it and you're like, this show's incredible. Like I remember that we went to go watch it together and it's like, I could watch this all day.
Yeah, I had the same exact experience. I remembered it as a kid, knew I liked it, and then saw it when it just reopened. I was like, that was awesome. And like my dad was like obsessed with it when we went with him. Like I think it's just one of those things where no matter like even if you're not really into Disney, it's just like the effects are like insane.
Yeah, and it's just like I love like just everything about when like he does like the sparkle fingers or he's up on the top of the mountain or like the first time when he comes in and like the lights are on him, people go nuts. Like feral for Mickey.
It is like one of the best moments is that when you see Mickey Mouse and go crazy. I remember we had like the technical difficulties where he didn't show. And then like the third time they ran through it or whatever, he did show and the place went wild. It was like like scored a touchdown. It was incredible.
It's just so good. So Fantastic for Haley. Llama Floof says Fantasmic sweep, and Austin and Caitlin as well voting Fantasmic, and that is what is going to move on. Sorry, Figment, you had a good little run, but can't take down Fantasmic. Next up, Ratatouille versus Avengers: Infinity War.
This one's a little bit easier in that it's just movie versus movie, and I'm going Infinity War. I like Ratatouille fine, but I prefer Infinity War.
Agree. That was like, again, if it's like that, like an end game or kind of part 1, part 2 of like a 10-year saga of movies, gotta go with that one. And so many quotable moments, iconic moments. I think that in my like birthday live stream, we did this random stuff and like the Thor scene of him coming down saying bring me was on there. Yeah. And I just love that as well. So there's so many iconic things. So I gotta vote Infinity War because it's just all these characters all together. Like I think like of course like Civil War had all those characters, but just like not as many. This had literally everybody in there.
Yeah, it had everyone, and it was just like everything was like bigger. Like in Civil War, they like fight in an airport or whatever. Yeah. Where there's like 2 or 3 different fights going on at the same time, like different planets, aliens, all that good stuff.
Seriously, and it was high stakes, and it was like the villain won.
Yeah,
crazy. Llama Floof says rap movie, and Haley and Austin are voting for Infinity War. So Infinity War. Moving on, taking down Ratatouille. Next up, we got Photopass versus Rise of the Resistance in our 3rd round.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Photopass. Just love being able to look back at those old pictures. And like I said, they hooked me up with pictures of me proposing. So I have a soft spot in my heart. Got to go with Photopass. Just the sort of years of memories that you're able to capture.
I agree. I think that again, I know that like we had talked about this earlier that like you can take like pictures on your phone and stuff, but I've just loved so many moments of like our Photopass stuff, whether it's like me and Heidi did our whole like engagement like stuff there where like we took pictures, or like with you guys, or just like moments where like you look and it's like, oh, there's our castle picture with whoever. Like there's just cool moments and I love it. And I think it's like also one of those things. I think that if I had to like if it was someone's first time going and they asked me like what should I do, I would 100% like recommend them getting like the Memory Maker Photopass for sure. Have to.
Absolutely. I can't imagine, like, at least for like us personally, like not or getting it and like regretting it. I think if like once
Yes.
you get it, it's you look back and you're like, oh my God, we have all these awesome pictures. Like we have funny ones with my parents where they're never looking at like the magic shot. So like it's always fun to like send those around and laugh at them. So yeah, Photopass for me for sure.
For sure. Austin votes for Rise and Haley votes for Photopass. And Llama Floof says that Photopass is the Cinderella of the bracket.
Yeah, definitely like a random one to get in there, but
For sure.
getting some love.
A big one. So Photopass is moving on. Next up, the Droids versus the Toy Story franchise. This is like Tommy's.
Yeah, this is like the battle of my childhood. Yeah, this one's tough. But I think I've got to go Toy Story. Droids has a lot of good ones. Also has some that I don't really care about. Yeah. Where all the Toy Stories I at least think is good, and it goes from good to like great. So going Toy Story for me, but definitely a tough one. It is, yeah, literally just the battle of, you know, what I was into as a kid.
Yeah. I also got to go Toy Story because even though I love the Droids and I've kind of like voted for them, like I guess like every time now, the Toy Story movies are just amazing and iconic, and I love them as a kid, and I just have so much nostalgia for them. So got to go Toy Story. Llama Floof is voting for the Droids. Austin's voting for the Droids, and Haley, with our tie-breaking vote right now, is voting for Toy Story. So Toy Story is moving on to the next round. Next up, Main Street versus Monsters, Inc.
I like Monsters, Inc., but I think it kind of just sits in that, like, I don't know, like 4 to 8 range of Pixar or whatever, like give or take, where Main Street is like a sort of a key focal point, one of the best parts of Magic Kingdom, really like encapsulates all that magic.
Yeah.
So got to go Main Street. Shout out to Monsters, Inc., though.
I also got to go Main Street. Again, I think that like this also could be like a Cinderella of the bracket where I honestly didn't know how far that it would make it, but it's made it very far. And Monsters, Inc., again, like you said, I think that like that's a good ranking for it, somewhere anywhere from like a 4 to 8 for sure. Like for me, I would have like Incredibles over it, some Toy Stories, like I don't know, there's a few over it for sure, but I think that's a good appropriate ranking. Whereas Main Street, if we're talking like areas of the park, I think like everybody knows Main Street and loves it. It's always busy and popular, and it's just got so much to it. So I also got to go for Main Street. Haley's voting Main Street, so is Llama Floof, and so is Austin. And those are all the votes lately. So everyone is agreeing and voting Main Street. So Main Street is moving on. Next up, Cosmic Rewind versus Christmas at Disney.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think this one might be the hardest one. Because it's like, it's where the sort of randomness is really throwing a wrench, I feel like, because it is hard to compare the two.
Yeah, my logic of if I don't vote for one and it leaves, I would be so sad if Cosmic Rewind was gone. Yeah. And I would be sad if Christmas was gone. But my logic here is that every time I go to Disney, I could ride Cosmic Rewind, whether it's Christmas or not. So if I had to lose something, I would rather lose Christmas at Disney than Cosmic Rewind as a whole. So I'm going to vote Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, this one is tough. And I think in your birthday bracket, I called like Cosmic Rewind just like a top 5 thing ever in life. And I still agree with that. But I think I have to vote for Christmas at Disney just because it like permeates so much of the trip, where like Cosmic Rewind is, 10 minutes or whatever, where like Christmas at Disney, you wake up and you eat like a Christmassy donut or whatever and drink a hot chocolate, and it like sort of exists throughout the entirety of the trip and just has a little bit of a wider reach. But this one is, absolutely brutal because, Cosmic Rewind is just one of my favorite things like in existence.
I agree. Llama Flute says Cosmic Rewind is the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah, legitimately, yeah.
I agree. But Christmas is going to move on because Haley and Llama Floof agree with you, and Austin was on the Cosmic Rewind with me. So Christmas is moving on. This was hard. This was the toughest one, I think. This could have been a final.
And I think there was a banked Christmas vote as well. I think there's a Christmas
There
plus.
was.
So
yes, you're right.
Even if I had voted for Cosmic, I think Christmas.
Stacy said Christmas. That is so true. Thanks for that one. You're right. Christmas at Disney. Moving on. Next up, the Skyliner versus the prequels. I'm gonna vote for the Skyliner because I love it and it's my favorite. It's again, I think that it's one of my favorite Disney things, which is random because it's just a mode of transportation, but I just love it so much. And I do love those movies, but I don't have like a super big attachment to them in this case. Whereas I just love the Skyliner.
Yeah, I did have a super big attachment growing up. Loved the prequels. I think they're awesome. Seen them a lot. But yeah, at this point in life, right? Like I'll revisit them once every 2-3 years or something like that. But every time we go to Disney, it's like, oh, Skyliner, so convenient. You know, you grab a coffee or whatever, and you hop on and you ride over.
Yeah,
there's just too much use out of the Skyliner. And having those hubs that sort of pops through. Century Art of Animation is a game changer in choosing where to stay.
For sure.
So tough one for me, but leaning Skyliner.
Very tough. But our chat is split here. We got Llama Floof going prequels, Haley's going Skyliner, and Austin is going the prequels, which is fair because they're movies versus a method of transportation. But that method of transportation is probably Disney's best and is moving on.
Yeah, if it wasn't such a strong mode of transportation, like prequels versus Montreal's out of here, but the Skyliner's too good.
I agree. Next up is maybe another tough one for Tommy is the Tarzan soundtrack versus Dinosaur.
Yeah, it is a tough one. We're getting down to it. I love the Tarzan soundtrack, obviously, but you can also kind of just like listen to Phil Collins albums if you really want to, where I feel like Dinosaur, especially at Walt Disney World in general, is such a unique experience. Like there's just really nothing out there that's like, yeah, like it's a ride and it's dark and it's fast and there's big scary dinosaurs and they're going to like run at you. Like they're just not doing anything like on that level anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna miss it. So gonna ride with Dinosaur on this one.
I am also going to ride on that one because again, I'm going to miss it so much. And I just think that it's one of those things. It's probably my favorite thing in Animal Kingdom. Like truly, I love it so much. I think it's so fun and it is honestly terrifying and scary. And I love it. And I just think that it's just something that they don't, like you said, like they don't like do that like anymore. So I think it just makes that even more special that it's just going to be going away, that it was like such a good thing. So I'm so sad about it. But the chat is also split. Llama Floof is voting Tarzan. So is Austin. But Haley with the split vote is voting Dinosaur. So Dinosaur is moving on against the Tarzan soundtrack. Next up, Donald versus Goofy.
This one, yeah, I guess it's just like a personal preference one, really.
Yeah.
And I think I tend to lean Donald. I just think that him being so like such a curmudgeon is so funny. I'm going with Donald. He cracks me up.
Oh, this is hard, but Goofy's my favorite, and I just love him. And as a kid, he was my favorite, and I still think he's so great. I do love Donald though so much. He's second favorite in terms of like those Fab Five characters and stuff, but I gotta go the Goof. So that's my vote. But the chat's with you mostly, Donald Duck, and Haley's with me on Goofy, but Mr. Donald Duck is moving on, which I'm not mad at because yeah, Llama Floof says that Austin and him are in sync. You guys are. You voted the same every time. Look at that, pals.
The llama debate. They've
seriously. Donald is moving on. And next up, we got Fantasmic versus Infinity War. I originally thought this was harder, but I'm not even going to overthink it, and I'm going to vote for Fantasmic.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Infinity War is obviously more accessible. You can just pull it up on Disney Plus, but there's nothing like ending the day with Fantasmic. It's just such like a great end cap. There's like so many like great iconic bits to it.
Yeah,
just all around, it's so good.
And if it was not there, I'd be sad because now that I've worked there, I just love it so much, and I just think it's so great. So, gotta be Fantasmic, even though Infinity War is some big budget movie and is incredible. Gotta do it. Llama Floof, Fantasmic, and Haley's voting Fantasmic as well. So, Fantasmic is moving on, which I'm so glad about. And this is not a personal bias. Anybody watching later is like, oh, of course. No, this is everybody's voting. So it's not just, and it's not just for me. There's reasons to it, which is great. Fantastic. Moving on. We're in our almost the final round here. Photopass going up against the Toy Story franchise. Tough.
Yeah, I think I have to stick with like my same rationale. Like Toy Story, obviously a huge part of my life, but sort of as they're making more movies, it's sort of like diminishing returns for me personally. Yeah. Where like Photopass is something that we're going to be using for as long as we're going to Walt Disney World, and going to be capturing memories hopefully for a while. So I'm just gonna stick with Photopass.
Yeah, like it's hard because again, I keep going back to like when someone earlier said like you can take like pictures on your phone, which is true, but I always find that we just again like in the moment when you're meeting characters or doing things, it's so just easy to do like this because you can just like walk up to the character, walk up to the castle and stuff. Whereas like I know you can find good shots and stuff, but if you're like alone or there's only two of you and like you want like a good shot and stuff, like I would trust doing it with them because it's a person taking pictures. They got their whole gear, like it's good. And I just think there's so many memories there for us as well. I'd be so sad to never watch a Toy Story movie again, but I gotta vote Photopass because there's just so many memories there and stuff. And my logic may change later on, but for right now, Fantasmic. Llama Floof agrees, and Haley is voting Toy Story.
Wow.
So Photopass, the Cinderella story. Moving on. Next up, Main Street versus Christmas at Disney.
This one, I think Main Street had a good run, but for me, like Christmas captures that same sort of great magical vibe, and it's just like a wider spread thing. It's throughout the parks, really.
Agree.
And just sort of seeps into every aspect of the trip. So Christmas at Disney, tough to beat.
I agree. I think that it's one of those where I think that this like earlier for me was harder with Cosmic Rewind and Christmas. I think this is easier again. Like Main Street's great, but yeah, Christmas at Disney, I'll still get Main Street, I guess, because there's Christmas stuff on there. So I'm fine taking Christmas, and Llama Floof and Haley agree, and they're voting Christmas. Llama Floof says, would you guys ever let viewers on as guests for the live streams?
I'm mostly a viewer, really.
I would say yes to that. I feel like, I feel like we've talked about some stuff because like, honestly, like we've been asked that before of like someone asked us about like a Patreon thing, and I don't know anything about it, and we're not at all that big that I would ever do that because we're not there. But like stuff like that where it's like more like interactive. Like I know this like podcast like that I listen to, they do stuff on Patreon where they like do like a Zoom with people that are there, which is cool. Like it's fun stuff. So I would say to that especially you, Llama Floof, you're great. If you're ever wanting to, we'll chat about it because I think that'd be so fun. But yes, I think like that would be something for sure that would be so fun is my short answer. Hopefully that was a good answer. But Christmas, moving on. Next up, the Skyliner versus Dinosaur.
I think I've got to just dig my heels in and ride with Dinosaur till the end. I think it's unique, and it's something that definitely going to miss. And while the Skyliner is obviously great, Dinosaur just has that extra oomph.
It's hard because again, like I just think about these where like my logic earlier of like the Skyliner and stuff, if it like was gone, I would be so sad that I'd have to take a bus everywhere.
Yeah, if I had to take a bus from Epcot to Hollywood Studios, I'd be so annoyed for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
So I guess for me, I'm gonna vote for the Skyliner, which is sad. Even though Dinosaur, I love it so much, I just think that the Skyliner is like, it's like a revolutionary thing, which it's not really, but to me, it's just,
it feels like it for
it
sure.
does. It's like we went from like a bus to this, and I know that it only goes to 2 parks, but it makes it so easy for what we want to do, like specifically. Whereas like I always love to get like a Guardians group and then go to Hollywood Studios. Like it's so easy to just go back and forth from those two. So gotta go Skyliner, even though I'm so sad because I do love Dinosaur. I'm so sorry, but Skyliner is moving on. Llama Flu says that Dino has gone through too many rounds.
It had a good run. Yeah,
it did have a very good run. I'm very happy with that. But Skyliner is moving on. And next up, we got Donald Duck versus Phantasmic.
I love Donald. He's great. But Phantasmic is so good.
Yeah, this is where my logic changes of if Donald or Goofy were gone, I'd be sad. I would, but I would be even more sad if Phantasmic was gone. So
yeah, it's become one of my like favorite things.
I agree. It's just, again, I'm not gonna rave about it because then everybody's like, oh, but like I love it. So again, Llama Flu says that Donald needs a pity vote. There we go, and Haley is voting for Phantasmic. So Phantasmic, moving on. Next up, we got Photopass versus Christmas at Disney. Wow.
Yeah, like the further we've gone on, it's tough. And yeah, it's this one's especially hard because like they're both, like not specific. They're so broad. But yeah, I think I'm going Christmas. Like it's a nice like 2-month window where you can go and experience the Christmas. And like I said, if I'm at home, I don't want to even like see a Christmas tree before Thanksgiving here. No. But if we're at Disney World, I'm all in. I'm putting the Santa hat on, eating gingerbread, the whole 9 yards. So.
Seriously, I am so on Christmas, and I'm laughing at Llama Flu because could you imagine if it's like at the end the random Disney champion is Photopass, a paid picture service, which is so funny. I love it so much. But I'm also voting Christmas. Photopass, though, I honestly, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought it would have made it this far, but I'm so happy it did because I love it so much. But
yeah, me neither, but I don't regret it. I really do love it. Like being able to look back at so many pictures is so great.
Yeah, Haley's voting Christmas, and Llama Flu says Photopass for the blind side. Very funny. Christmas at Disney, moving on. Next up, the Skyliner versus Phantasmic, and then we get our final. So this will determine who faces Christmas at Disney. Crazy.
I would be annoyed to have to take a bus, but I would take a bus to go see Phantasmic. So I'm going with Phantasmic.
I agree. And again, it obviously helps that I work there and I keep on saying it, but I have like now such an attachment to the show that I would be devastated if it was gone. I would be so sad. Like if they said we're going to replace it with a new show, I would know that the new show is not going to be as good, and I'd be so upset. So gotta go Phantasmic. Haley is going with the Skyliner, and we'll see what Llama Flu has to say. Maybe you're gonna also go Skyliner, and then we're tied. A tough one for Llama Flu, which is fun. But we're almost there. Again, I know there's not many people in our chat here, but if you're watching this later, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who did come in the chat and join us and watch and stuff. But Llama Flu is voting for Photopass, which is funny. But Haley says, oh, no, wait, I meant Phantasmic. There you go. So Phantasmic, and Dreaming of Tomorrowland as well, Phantasmic. So Phantasmic is moving on to go up against in our final Christmas at Disney. Wow. Again, I will be happy with whatever wins, because honestly, like Christmas at Disney is unmatched to me. I literally don't think there's a better time to go to Disney, in my opinion. I love it so much, and I think it's just so. It is like the epitome of like of what Christmas is like to me, where like it's just they do it so well, and it's so good. And Phantasmic, I know, is awesome. And I said I'd be sad if it's gone. But Christmas at Disney is just so good.
Yeah, and 'tis the season, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm leaning too. I know Haley and I talk about it all the time. It really is just like the perfect pairing. Like
Yeah.
a Christmas thing with like Mickey and Minnie Mouse on it is just like moi, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in a vote for Phantasmic because I feel obligated, and I do. It's like it's on that line, and I realize how much I do love it. Like I could watch it all day. So I know it didn't win, but I'll toss it a vote.
yeah, I mean, I think like if I had to pick a specific thing at Disney, it would be Fantasmic, or even like pick a specific thing in all of Disney, like movies and characters. But like Christmas at Disney just covers so many bases: the food, the decorations, the parade.
That's true. For
Just
sure.
so much to offer.
Yeah. Llama Floof and Haley are voting Christmas, and Dreamy of Tomorrowland votes Phantasmic, and Llama Floof, like you said, Christmas. The only way for this to end, and Christmas at Disney is our champion of the bracket, and Llama Floof. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I think that I did this last year where I did one this weekend, and I know that it wasn't like a big turnout, which is fine because that's not what it's about for me at all. But I'm just like so glad that we did it. And Tommy, thanks for coming on with me. It was so fun, and hopefully you had fun.
No, yeah, comparing like movies to attractions and like the minutia of what makes one better than the other is very much my jam. So I had a ton of fun. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a blast.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just it's like a random thing where it's like every time that we do them, it's like, oh, like you're comparing things to the like other same things, but it's a whole different, like you said, a game changer when it's random Disney stuff. So that's fun. But I'm gonna pull this up here. We posted this yesterday. I had some technical issues, so it went up later, but we posted our last vlog from our Disney trip, which was sad. But it's crazy that 2023 is coming to an end, and we're kind of going to do a new video in the new year talking about 2024 and kind of some fun stuff to come. But Llama Floof says if there are enough brackets, maybe there could be a winner's bracket. Oh, that's true. Of like random Disney things, we could do that. We could keep track over the next year if we do more of the random ones and then bring some winners, and that'd be fun. But we posted this yesterday, and there were so many good moments in it, and a perfect way to end our trip and stuff and my program. So that was fun. As you can see, Heidi was crying in the bottom of that picture, which is so funny. But it's just crazy that this is coming to an end this year. It's been a big year for us on our channel and for just us in life and stuff, and so many things happened, and I'm excited for 2024 as well to come and see what happens. But yeah, I know that we in like 8 months from now have a Disneyland trip.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I gotta get a countdown going.
It's kind of crazy now that it's going to be the new year, where it's like, oh, it's actually like, and I know that it's like still far away, like 8 or 7 months, but it's still closer than when, like when we planned it. When like August, we decided for sure we're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost to a point where it's closer than the last time we were in Disney World together, which was in what, May, like 7 months ago, and now we're 8 months away from August. So
it's wild.
Yeah, we're getting there.
It's crazy. And Llama Floof says that 2024 will be the 5K celebration and the 50th live stream. Well, let's hope. That'd be so amazing. And we just, again, like obviously this year for us, I was going to say it here, but we hit 4K, which is so fun. And we just honestly, I every time that I think about this and post a video, I just say like, we just have, we're so lucky, and I'm so thankful for just everything that we've done, and everybody who watches, and just all the stuff that has come with this has been so great. And I feel like everybody like in the chat are like have become like just like a big part of our lives and like our family and stuff. And it's just so cool. And we've met cool people like Haley and Tommy, who we never would have known exist through YouTube. Like it's just,
yeah,
it's so cool. And I'm excited for the new year to come. There'll be some cool stuff coming, and I hope you're all excited. So stay tuned. Again, we're not going to have any new videos, I don't think. Maybe one this week of my haul that I filmed for like my college program, which is so late, but I just have been so busy. But again, hopefully that'll be this week, and then probably no new videos because of the holidays until the new year. And we'll do a live stream to kick off the new year and talk about some new stuff, and it'll be so great. So thanks everyone for joining us. If you're watching this later, thank you so much. We love you all, and we cannot wait to see you in the new year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the things, and stay tuned on Instagram for stuff, because we'll be on there, I'm sure, between now and the new year. But stay tuned for new stuff coming in the new year on YouTube. And thanks, Tommy, again for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We'll see you all later. And remember, I have to do it now, I guess. It's always sunny. Yay.